Sean Clifford. That was more than a bump. That was a whomp.
And his name is Bumper. That's his legal name. Look at this.
Borderline illegal.
Oh.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
People who really want to have a good time won't come to a slaughterhouse. We've got entirely too many troublemakers here.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
I don't like you because you're dangerous. That's right. I am dangerous.
Streaming live from
HitThatLine.com. I hit the 7-iron like John Daly hits the 3.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson.
You just gotta keep living, man.
And Tommy Kraft.
We follow orders or people die. Are we clear?
The Morning Rush starts right now.
Yes, sir.
Jared Bumper pulls big-time hit on Sean Clifford in the Outback Bowl where he delivered not just that, he's delivered several hits in his career. It's good to have him back this season. One of the clips I listened to early on this morning was Sam Pittman discussing that with the SEC Now crew, Roman Harper, Tim Tebow, Laura Rutledge. And I know he's happy to come back, as is the Butkus Award watch list with him, and along with 50 other players were named to that watch list, given to one of the best defensive players in all of college football. Jalen Catalon named to the Jim Thorpe Award watch list as well. Both of those came out yesterday. He's one of 35 guys on that list for one of the best secondary members in that. So really excited to see KJ Jefferson wind up on the Maxwell Award, the Davey O'Brien, and then now these with Bumper and Jalen. We get a chance to see basketball practice on Wednesday at 4 o'clock. Really excited about that. We'll make sure to keep you updated on HitThatLine.com, our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram pages as well. What's going on? This will be our first glance, not just from the social media videos, but actually getting a chance to partake in ourselves, which I'm really excited about. And with practice happening in basketball, and then also with the other football stuff coming up, which fall camp kicks off. You said, what, next Thursday or Friday?
I don't know. I'm just guessing. I hadn't seen a schedule, but that's about when I would expect it to be, was Thursday or Friday.
Yeah, so we'll get into what you enjoyed and hated about practice in your high school or junior high days. Maybe for some of you it was your college days, but very few of you, what do they always say? I know the NCAA, the old tagline was, and few of these graduate to play professional sports. What are they? And almost all of them play something.
They go pro in something other than sports. Yeah.
So, and most of you did not go to college for sports, but for those of you who did, we can talk about that a little bit as well here on a Toyota Tuesday.
And back in my day, did they even have two-a-days in your days?
They did for a little bit.
They pretty well eliminated that like 10, 15 years ago, where 2 practices a day. But man, that was rough. And I tell you who else didn't like it: Mom and Dad, because they had to take you in the morning, then they had to leave work, come pick you up at 10 or 11 o'clock. Then you'd eat lunch. You'd say carpooling was huge then. Parents coordinating rides so everybody could get to practice on time. And I remember one time I got left and missed. I thought Mom was picking me up. Mom thought I was riding. We didn't have phones. Everything was locked up. I thought they were coming. I ended up walking home like 7 miles.
7? I got no Ubers or Lyfts back then.
No, sir. So, anyway.
What did you say to your mom?
I walked from Ramsey Jr. I mean, I didn't say anything till they got home. There was no way to get a hold of them, in 1989, 1990.
No payphone that you didn't have a quarter lying around?
No. I was in 9th grade.
That stinks. 7 miles.
That's how times have changed. Yeah, I walked from Ramsey Junior High to the bottom of Fiena Hills in Fort Smith. All the way up Jenny Lynn.
I've walked 4 miles home from Dixon, but 7 miles seems a little excessive in the heat.
It was not fun.
Dixon was at night when it was a little cooler.
That was the thing that Mom and Dad didn't like, is they had to pick you up, take you two-a-days were as rough on them, I think, from a schedule standpoint, because we'd go at like 7 or 8 in the morning, if I remember, and then we'd go again like 4 or 5 in the afternoon. So I don't know which was worse, the practices that you had when it was just blistering hot, or the ones like towards the end of your season, and you didn't have 2 of these a day, but where it was just miserably cold.
I always would say hot. Cold doesn't bother me as much. I mean, you're running and
when you
playing.
got a football, you don't have a lot of you don't have Under Armour and heat gear and all that stuff back then. You just had to brave it, you know.
I just when I feel like I'm gonna die of heat exhaustion, I tend to lean toward that. But when you get popped and it's cold, it hurts that much more. So I would understand that. But you're not practice. It is not as intense as games, I feel like. So I would probably say the heat aspect was more. We had something that we would do during the week, 1 week during the summer, and it was called just Hell Week for basketball, where we didn't touch a basketball all week. All we did was conditioning. And if someone was late or didn't show up on our team compiled with junior varsity and the varsity players, we were either going to double or triple whatever we had to do that morning. There was always someone that either showed up late or didn't show up. And that person just ticked off the entire team because they knew and we knew how much worse practice was going to be because they weren't able to get there in time.
I always felt it was kind of unfair to punish a kid or punish at certain ages for them being late, because if you can't drive, it's totally dependent on your parents to get you there on time. If mom or dad make you late, well, when
make them run.
Oh, make dad run, make mom run. So anyway, practice on. I would imagine we'd receive a schedule in the next week or so, but I would imagine first, they're going to be underway by the first weekend of August. So third or fourth, that Thursday or Friday would be my guess, and I would imagine Sam Pittman's going to give us a little bit of a look, but probably about the same as we've seen the last year or so, and that's a little bit of the first few periods kind of take roll, and beyond that, I don't know how. I'll be interested to see how much open scrimmaging he will allow, for media and for, we've seen in the past, not necessarily with him, boosters and other people to come in and watch practice.
There's not a lot of position battles, though, right? I mean, you're pretty confident on most of where everyone's going to start. I mean, go down the list. You got four of your 5 offensive linemen, and I'll probably get a better insight from Clay if it's going to be Luke Jones or Tykeus Crawford. I think, and Clay might correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he said Luke Jones. You know who your starting quarterback is, regardless of what Sam Pittman says. You know who your wide receivers are probably going to be. It's going to be Hazelwood, Thompson, and maybe you're wondering about the third guy. Trey Knox is going to start at tight end most likely. Then you look on the defensive side of the ball. Drew Sanders, Bumper Pool up the middle, Jalen Catalon, and again, this is a better question for Clay, but there's not I don't think there's huge position battles all over the place.
I don't think that's why a coach would keep you out of practice, though. So I don't think the position battles would be several notches down the list of reasons he wouldn't want want the distraction of media or the potential of information leaking out.
Yeah, for plays and different alignments and stuff like that, which talk about like FBI agents and CIA being the most paranoid. Would football coaches be up on that spectrum?
I think one, and this happened. I think it happened under Petrino with, I think it was Raleigh Williams. Maybe there was someone that got hurt in practice, and before the family could be told, and because we live in a social media world, there was someone broke an ankle or leg, and before they could even get the player off the field, it was on social media. And I think that's always one of the fears.
Are you talking about Niles Davis? Is that what happened?
Yeah, but the point is, that's, I think, one of the fear of coaches is you have a key player or any player have a serious injury, but particularly it's going to make bigger news, and you can't control that information. You never know what's going to happen in a practice if you let people watch it, and you can't control their phones. You can't control what gets out, and the idea that everybody's going to be responsible and not report something they saw.
But isn't that their job? It's
the job of a coach. I mean, do you as a parent want to read that your kid just broke his ankle or his leg on Twitter, or do you want to be called by the player or the coach and be informed? Those are some of the things that I think is reasonable for a coach to have those concerns. And I remember that happening, and it was irritating to the staff then. So, and I think that's one instance of why. But I think coaches are just, you're right, they're just paranoid by nature and don't want the information being out.
Last time that practice was fully open was Nut, right? Was it that long ago?
Petrino used to let you come watch some practices, some scrimmages, particularly on Saturdays.
Okay.
Because, boy, would he holler and yell.
That's not surprising whatsoever. All right, when we come back, we'll talk a little bit about Jalen Catalon and Bumper Pool. Stay with us here on a Toyota Tuesday.
This is Toyota Tuesday on the morning.
The company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates is looking for quality people to join the Fenceman team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fenceman offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fenceman. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fenceman is an equal opportunity employer.
Now that's a dandy white perch.
Big old slab.
C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Our partners at BetOnline continue to be the #1 source for all your betting needs and sports info. Find all the latest odds, news, and sports developments, including this year's Wimbledon Finals, Major League Baseball, the latest fighting news, and even next season's early NFL futures. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Just use our promo code BLEAV. That's BLEAV to get the bonus and get into the action. Bet online, where the game starts.
This song was mistakenly thought to be about animal rights or shock therapy, but Shock the Monkey is really about jealousy. If we're just highly evolved primates, then why does adultery make us so irate? Natural selection would never make you hate someone who would seminate. It's because a supernatural God wired monogamy into our DNA. If you think this issue is benign, you'll be shocked to see Proverbs 6:29. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Read about it.
A pre-owned vehicle that won't break the bank? Good luck in this market.
But wait, Joe knows good deals. That's right, Joe can get you in a pre-owned car as low as $269 a month, or a truck starting at only $299 a month. Joe knows how to give you more for your trade and save your hard-earned cash. Come see Joe at the Crane Used Car Supercenter, because Joe knows. U.S. Highway 71 in Fort Smith.
PristineAuction.com is the most trusted sports memorabilia auction site. With an A+ BBB rating, auctions on PristineAuction.com start at just $1, and each day there are over 1,000 autographed items available, so you win signed authentic signatures at affordable prices. Just last week, an autographed Justin Herbert jersey sold for $110. Deals like these are happening all the time on PristineAuction.com, and they have just about every player you could want, including Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, and so much more. Every item on PristineAuction.com comes with a certificate of authenticity from the industry's most reputable authenticators. Upgrade your collection of signed memorabilia today and get $10 off your first item one when you use code HTL when you sign up. Again, PristineAuction.com, use code HTL and get $10 off your first item one. And that's not all. In addition to $10 off your first item, we are giving away a signed Traylon Burks Arkansas Razorbacks jersey to one lucky listener who signs up using this code HTL. Here's your chance to win. All you have to do is sign up on their website using our registration code HTL to be entered. Visit PristineAuction.com/register today.
2550 at Arts Barbecue and Burgers.
Carco Auto Sales takes great pride in serving Fort Smith, the River Valley, and eastern Oklahoma for over 40 years, offering a variety of quality, late model, low mileage vehicles at unbeatable values. The friendly and knowledgeable staff can help you find the car you deserve, priced to fit your budget. Carco Auto Sales will purchase your vehicle as well. Come see the team at 2810 Midland Boulevard or give them a call at 783-1722. Check them out online at buyfromcarco.com. Carco Auto Sales, when you're ready.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
I can't sleep. Good morning to the Morning Rush, everybody.
Off play action, going to keep it on a quarterback keeper inside the 20, inside the 10, KJ to the 5, touchdown Arkansas!
Razorback football is coming. Catch updates from Sam Pittman, KJ Jefferson, and others right here on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
All right, let's talk about Jalen Catalon and Bumper Pool a little bit. Two guys that are going to be a huge part of your defense and are also up for a couple awards that were just announced yesterday. We'll get to those coming up.
Brought to you by World of Wireless. 877-305-DISH is the number to call Ben and his crew. Lock in your price for the next 2 years. It's a free weekend also coming up as well. Free doorbell system from Google that integrates with a Hopper system. This is a really cool deal. So if you've got a doorbell with a camera in it, and they're going to give you one for free, it integrates with a Hopper system with a Google one. And so if someone's at the door, you can tell whether it's someone dropping off a package from UPS or FedEx, or whether it's the pizza delivery guy, or someone coming over to watch the game. You know exactly who's there because it comes automatically up on the screen, and you can see that, and it's easy. You can also integrate that with your phone as well. You get to lock in your price for 2 years, 3 TVs in the house, less than $90 a month. So get ready for football season with Dish and World of Wireless. 877-305-DISH for WOW World of Wireless.
All right, so we've got the Jim Thorpe Award given to the best defensive back in all of college football, the Butkus. And I'm got to see if it's a trophy or award. You go back and forth between some of these. Name me some of the other awards in college football outside the Heisman. Let's see.
We got the Remington Award.
Okay, given to
the best center in college football. The Joe Moore Award is given to the best overall offensive line in college football. The Outland Trophy is given to the best lineman in college football. You said Butkus for linebacker. What is the one for kicker? The Ray Guy Award? It's going off the top of my head.
Punter.
Yeah, for punter. So there's a different one for place kicker. I don't know that one. What else am I missing? Davey O'Brien for quarterback.
Mm-hmm. Maxwell's basically another Heisman Trophy, most outstanding player.
The place kicker is the Lou Rosa.
There you go.
There you go.
There you go.
I've heard of that one. I mean, I just didn't have that.
What's the best wide receiver? This one.
The Biletnikoff Award is the best wide receiver.
Best running back. Darren won it twice.
Now, why'd you put me on the spot like that? The God Almighty. No, it's not the Maxwell. Doak Walker Award.
Doak Walker. There you go. I'm trying to think if there's another.
I may have exhausted my memory banks.
We know the Broyles Award given to
now.
The best assistant in all of college football. You mentioned the offensive lineman, the Outland Trophy. There are so many.
That Joe Moore Award, that's fairly new, right? I just remember
so.
that because I was reading about it the other day. But
I think so.
Yeah.
Believe that's correct. But there's several of these.
What's the tight end award?
John Mackey.
The Mackey Award. Yeah.
So you've had DJ and Hunter Heisman. You've had that back-to-back and runner-up and Darren McFadden. I don't know if anyone's ever won the Davey O'Brien and Maxwell in the history of your program. I think Darren might have won the Maxwell too. I know he won the Doak Walker twice. He might have won the Maxwell too. Do you know, has anyone ever won the Butkus for the best linebacker at the U of A?
Lloyd Phillips won the Outland Trophy.
Okay, for best lineman.
Uh-huh.
Has Arkansas ever had someone win the Luke? I'm just thinking about this year. If you look at some of the guys, like the actual opportunity, you've had the Coach of the Year, the Home Depot Coach of the Year award. Nagurski, I think that's a defensive. Yeah, that's a defensive player. There's just so many.
Well, it's kind of like bowl games. I mean, and I'm fine with it. Have all the awards you want. Doesn't bother me. But some
of them are sponsored.
We used to have a handful of trophies. Well, and just like David Basil brought along the Broyles were these touchdown clubs and groups that love to get together and share college football with each other have created some awards. That's what happened with the Heisman Trophy many years ago. It just has more prestige because it's been around longer and it's it just has more cachet, obviously. So, I mean, some of these are gaining some. The Burlsworth Award, I think, is really gaining traction on the national scene. That's in perspective of the rest of college football, it's a fairly new award. So, I some of these are starting to gain a little more prestige and be talked about a little more. And I think as you get more winners and more schools talking about it, it makes more conversation in circles. They become more important than ESPN put the award night together that was kind of separate of the Heisman. They used to do that in Orlando. I guess they still do. And I don't know what's happened since COVID necessarily. I've kind of lost track. But that was a big night, and Arkansas was well represented, 10 or 12 years ago when you had some guys winning Remingtons and Mackey Awards and some things of that nature.
It'd be nice to see a couple of these guys make the finalists, which I think of any, and we can talk more about this with Clay coming on. I think Jalen probably has the best chance of any of the guys, because help me on this. KJ's up for the Davey O'Brien and Maxwell. Bumper's now up for the Butkus, and then Jalen's up for the Jim Thorpe. Are those the only? Have we seen?
I haven't charted the watch list, but we're in watch list season.
Yeah,
so.
and Cam Little might have gotten named for the Groza. Maybe I'm
he should be
misremembering that, or maybe it hasn't come out yet. And maybe he might, if he's up for that, maybe you say he might have the best chance. But I think of the guys that are on the field basically almost every down when their unit is on. I think Jalen probably has the best chance of those three between Bumper, him, and KJ to win that award.
I would disagree with you. I mean, I just think to win a lot of these awards, much like the Heisman, your team better be winning a lot of ball games.
That's a great point.
And unless you are a standout of all standouts, it's hard to win an individual award on a team that doesn't have at least probably 8 wins and probably more like 9 or 10. I mean, that's what's going to get you more highlights. That's what's going to get you more attention. And then, there's some of it to your institutional promotion that comes out of your university for these things. But at the end of the day, you better be on a well-rounded winning football team to probably gain some of these awards.
We're going to talk with Takeo Spikes, former Auburn linebacker, coming up, and he lost to Peyton Manning in the 97 SEC championship. They lost 30-29. Do you remember that game at all? It was an incredible football game.
No, I don't remember that game.
They ended up giving him the MVP of that game because he forced 2 fumbles, and I think he had interception as well. But that's one of the few times. Jerry West, I think, is the only guy in NBA history to win the Finals MVP and still lose the overall series. That's one that stands out. But as you said, it's rare either during the course of a championship game or if a player, typically team success, has to go along with the individual success for them to actually win that award like you're talking about.
So, who did Spikes play against? Which
Auburn. They played Tennessee.
Okay.
He played for Auburn.
I got you.
The Tigers, and
I thought you said the other man. I'm like, hang on, that didn't.
No,
that didn't work out.
He played. I want to say Takeo was 96 through 99, if I remember that right. His years, but they did play again, and it was a great football game. There's some great SEC championships in the '90s. It started with the Florida Alabama. That was the inaugural one, and that was Kramer was the
Roy Kramer.
Commissioner.
He was the one that more or less invented divisions in sports and a championship game.
Which people were scared about because Alabama's they lost. They might not get in the championship. They ended up winning, and they beat a young upstart, Steve Spurrier, who I think was there just really started his Florida tenure.
And here we are 30 years later. We're probably going to get rid of divisions moving forward. So kind of interesting, how everything comes full cycle at some point. I guess, like we've seen bell bottoms come back in style as well at some point. So a lot more to get to here on the Morning Rush, including Bruce Stanton's going to be in from Pradco. We'll talk with him coming up inside the next hour as well. We're brought to you by Joe's Grill and Cantina on South 74th Street in Fort Smith. $1 tacos today on a Taco Tuesday. All the chicken and beef crunchy tacos today that you want for lunch or dinner, just $1 each, so don't miss out on that. And don't forget, when the games come back around here in about 40 days, half-price apps and taps during every Hog game on TV. It's all at Joe's Grill and Cantina. $1 tacos today. $1 crunchy tacos all day long. Joe's Grill and Cantina, South 74th Street in Fort Smith.
All right, so we'll get to Takeo coming up in just a bit, and then I want you to pull out your iPhone, your Android, and tell me what the latest song you've downloaded. We'll rank those coming up.
This is Toyota Tuesday on the Morning Rush. Get by your local Toyota dealer for a test drive today. Toyota, let's go places.
Standard Materials Group has immediate openings for ready-mix drivers in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you have a CDL license without an automatic restriction and want to be home every night, want to work with a company that offers great pay, benefits, and a great team environment with growth opportunities, apply today at jobs.crh.com. Again, that's jobs.crh.com. Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer.
WT Equipment is your home for New Holland ag and construction equipment. From high horsepower row crop tractors and combines, utility tractors and hay equipment, compact track loaders and mini excavators, WT Equipment has it all. Stop by one of their 8 locations to explore the value of New Holland tractors or see why New Holland hay equipment and twin rotor combines are second to none in harvesting ability. Need additional construction equipment to continue growing? Give WT Equipment a call. Come by a store or check out their website at WTEquip.com.
The first thing people notice when they drive up to your home or walk in any room of your house is the color. And if you're looking for the perfect color and the perfect paint, you'll find it at the Paint Store in Van Buren. Hi, Tommy Kraft here. The Paint Store in Van Buren gives you hometown service from people who know what they're talking about. You don't have to chase them down to get help at the Paint Store. They're always there to help you get that perfect color and that perfect match for your project. If you're looking for the perfect paint color, it's at the Paint Store, 1414 Fayetteville Road in Van Buren.
Whew, it's hotter than car lot asphalt. That can mean only one thing. It's time for the Rath Auto Resources Summer Sales Drive. Every summer, we set our goals to sell more cars than the year before and break every sales record. That means huge savings for you on a great selection of Rath Road-ready premium pre-owned vehicles. Each one hand-picked and reconditioned in our Meineke Car Care Center. Don't let the lot fool you. When they're moving this fast, most of the inventory never makes it to the lot or the internet. No worries. Just call, click, or come by and let one of our friendly non-commissioned solution specialists help you find the perfect vehicle and work it all out so the price and payment fits your budget. It couldn't be simpler, and the summer sales drive makes it the perfect time to save. If you're keeping the car you have, let us take care of it for you in our Meineke Car Care Center with free AC checks, half-off brakes, and buy 3 get 1 free on all tires. Better yet, start driving better today and save big during the summer sales drive. Only at Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online at rathauto.com.
Are you looking for a career that is in demand and will provide you and your family the living you all deserve? Are you willing to put in the time to learn that profession? If the answer is yes, you need to contact United Welding Institute today. Welders are in demand in-state and across the country for many different types of welding. United Welding Institute has recently placed students from the River Valley with very high-paying employers, and they want to do the same for you. Call today and make an appointment for your future. 479-968-3390. That's 479-968-3390 for United Welding Institute in Pottsville, and tell them you heard it on ESPN Arkansas.
The Golf Nut would like to welcome the newest member, Matt Brooks, to the Golf Nut team. Matt is a former college golfer with over 10 years of experience in the golf industry. Matt is available for lessons, so call the shop today to set in an appointment. The Golf Nut has a large selection of shoes in stock with brands like FootJoy, Adidas, Echo, Skechers, and Under Armour. As always, check Facebook for daily specials. The Golf Nut, your #1 golf shop since 1994.
Gray Brothers Equipment understands the importance of your hay crop, and they're ready to help with quality Kubota products like Kubota rotary disc mowers, Kubota brand wheel hay rakes, and BV round balers attached to Kubota's M-Series cab tractor. Together, Kubota and Gray Brothers will make your hay days fun again. That's Gray Brothers Equipment in Fort Smith and Poto, where if you pick orange, you'll never get a lemon.
Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer opens like every other seltzer, pours like every other seltzer, but it's not like every other seltzer. USDA certified organic, no added sugar, and low cal, so you've never seen another seltzer quite like it. And with new refreshing flavors like black cherry and watermelon strawberry, you've never tasted one like it either. Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, as real as it tastes. Enjoy responsibly, not a low-calorie food. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, IRC Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
State sales tax paid on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot, now through the end of the month at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. You heard right. State sales tax paid on pre-owned vehicles at Harry Robinson. You'll save hundreds, even thousands, with sales tax paid. This sale does not apply to previously negotiated deals. Don't miss your chance to get your state sales tax paid now through the end of the month on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 at Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson and Tommy Kraft.
Mallett in the pocket. Throws it up over the top. Right on the button. Watch out. It's a breakaway. Kobe Hamilton. 10-5. Can you believe it?
Be listening for your chance to qualify for the Hardy 17th Annual Football Trip of a Lifetime. A date with the Titans and Chiefs in Arrowhead Stadium November 6th.
I got a chance to catch up with outstanding Auburn linebacker Takeo Spikes last week. It was a great conversation. Sure, we'll react to it coming up in just a bit, Tommy.
Hey, save big right now on in-ground fiberglass pools during the inventory reduction sale at Burton Pools and Spas. Get the pool your family has always been begging you for, Dad, and save up to $7,000 right now. And get a free salt generator or 2 ledge loungers right now when you upgrade and get the fiberglass in-ground pool during the inventory reduction sale. Hey, there's 6 different models to choose from. With fiberglass, you get a great idea of exactly what your pool's going to look like, how deep it'll be, how wide it will be, all of those features that are important to you and your family. Check it out during the inventory reduction sale only at Burton Pools and Spas in Springdale and in Fort Smith, and online at burtonpools.com, where you can get your feet wet without getting in over your head.
All right, we are with the newest SEC Network football analyst, Takeo Spikes. Takeo, I was just telling you before, I mean, this is my favorite event. How has it been for you for your first time on this side of things?
It's been well. It's going well. I'm surrounded by a great cast, great crew, and I really appreciate the support that we have at the SEC Network. And I love the idea of all of the cast and crew, the guys, are all SEC legends. And we get a kick out of it because not only do we tease each other, but we really look forward to hearing all of the stories. We look forward to hearing what coaches got coming up in the pipeline. What's the objective? You know, what's the action plan as far as getting their team to the next level? And then, you know, once we get the information, we dissect it as if we're in the barbershop just getting a cut and we talking ball.
I love that you have a player's perspective, just talking about that SEC championship game in '97, and I'm sure you could recount a bunch of different games that you played back in the days. And you've seen a kind of a dynamic shift a little bit with, at one point in time, the East in the 90s was kind of the top dog, early 2000s, and now it's shifted to the West with Auburn. I know Georgia just won the national championship, but what can you say about the conference kind of division shift to power as of late?
I just think I love the conference. Like, for me, if I could just watch SEC football and nothing else, I'm okay, like, to be completely honest with you. And I think a lot of it had to do with the personalities. You look at Mike Leach. Gotta love Mike Leach. You look at Nick Saban. You look at Jimbo Fisher, right? And you cannot leave Lane Kiffin out of there. Brian Kelly, the new Cajun of the South. So ultimately, overall, I think a lot of it has to do with not just the personalities, but the proven success, Ty, that these teams or the coaches have brought down inside of these programs. And now they're really instilling belief and hope to kids who always wanted to play in the SEC and always wanted to go to the NFL, and they know these guys can get me there.
2 guys, Bumper Pool, who's here with us now, and then Drew Sanders, the Alabama transfer. What do you think they're going to be for Barry Odom's defense this year, Takeo?
I think they're both going to be great. I'm a little bit more familiar with Bumper Pool. I thought it was impressive to see, what was it? He didn't even start.
He came off the bench in some games.
Came off the bench in a lot of games and still had over 100 tackles. You know, so started one game actually and came off the bench and had 125 tackles, now that my memory serves me correct. To me, he's a dog. And, you know, and you want players like that who are always going to be active, and the report card on him is smart football player and has a knack for knowing where the ball is going before it gets there. And so when you see that, I think you can build around a good program and you can build your foundation around that, because it's one thing that you have to be, or you have to have, that's consistent in order to call plays and get into a rhythm. A signal caller who can get everybody else into position.
And that's you on defense.
And that's me on defense as the linebacker, which will be Bumper Pool. And then you also look at the aspect of getting people lined up and letting them know, hey, this is what we have, this is what's presented, let's go get it.
One of the things that I've already appreciated about you, just sitting down with you, is passion. My favorite, 30 for 30, and I'm going to say it out of respect for you and call it War Eagle Roll Tide, not Roll Tide War Eagle, because you still have a disdain and a hatred for that team in red. And Arkansas doesn't like Alabama. The SEC, what I think makes it new, you can speak this better than anything because you played, is the rivalries that are deeply rooted in deep hate, man.
It is. And people ask me, well, what do you think about, the realignment, conference realignment? I have several thoughts. One, I don't worry about teams who are embedded in the SEC because they're not going anywhere. But it's just something about those rivalries. I remember playing Arkansas, and my God, Madre Hill going back in the day, and the fabric of what makes Arkansas is the fact that you guys have a great offensive line, hard-nosed running backs. Nothing has changed. Now you got a quarterback with KJ Jefferson in there to add into that equation. And so for me, it's really about keeping the rivalries in place. I know I'm drifting a little bit, but I love the game, man. I can't imagine waking up and not having an Iron Bowl to be able to watch.
You went back and you got your degree after you left, 2016, right?
Yep.
That's something that I know Sam Pittman just got up there and talked about the graduation rates, and there are guys that you played with or played against that may have went off to the NFL like you did and then came back. What does that mean to you as we close you out, Takeo?
It means a lot, Ty. Thank you for asking that. Number one, I made a promise to my mother to always go back because I was the first guy. She used to say, boy, you better take your ass back to school and get your degree. And I used to look at her and say, well, if I got a lot of money, then why should I? She was like, because you might go broke and you might have to use it. And so
you're using it.
But I am using it now, broadcast journalism. And she said she was just joking about going broke because she know if I go broke, she goes broke, then we all broke, and that ain't helping nobody.
Great stuff from Takeo Spikes, former Auburn linebacker. Really appreciate your time this morning, Takeo.
Thanks, Ty.
I thought when he mentioned Madre Hill, someone he had to go up against, and kind of the fabric of Arkansas, Tommy, what it was then and what it is now. I feel like time is an endless circle, right? You had some really strong running teams. You've had them over the years, and that's what Sam Pittman is almost trying to reestablish in Fayetteville once again. And I think it gets overlooked. I know that Arkansas had an incredible passing attack with Ryan and Tyler, but you also had Niall Davis, who had over 1,000 yards, and Dennis Johnson and Ronnie Wingo. I mean, you had some dudes running the football too.
And you think about, since joining the SEC, and Arkansas has always had a great history of in-state players, but Madre Hill, one of those first great running backs in the SEC era, and him and Barry Lunny, the quarterback, were two of the main components of getting you to that 95 championship game. It didn't go well against Florida in that game, but first time Arkansas got there, and people thought it might be decades before Arkansas got there. You got there, it's been a little while since you've been there, since 06. But Arkansas had some success with Madre Hill, and I remember that knee injury that sidelined him. So there's some tough dudes. You look at that offensive line on that team in '98, and it was comprised of Sandlin and Boster and Burlsworth and all the guys that were from here in state and mean and nasty up front, and so. It comes back to these kids that have a passion. That's what you can hear from Spikes, is his passion for the game and passion for his university. Well, I just think it's easier, and we've talked about this. I mean, Houston Nutt used to preach sermons on the passion of being a Razorback because he was from this state. He understood it and was able to communicate that very well. So I think that was one of the reasons his teams often reached an emotional level that it was hard for other teams to match.
Because they weren't always the most talented. Now, in some cases, in some cases they had a lot of talent, but sometimes hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. And you saw in some cases where the Nuts teams and several other teams would go up against competition that on paper it shouldn't have even been a ball game, but because they just wanted it more in certain cases, it was.
Well, you go back and you look, and we've had this conversation, several times before. But you go back and you look at the two deeps on these teams that had higher win totals and made championship games, and they're loaded with Arkansas kids. The better teams at Arkansas are, particularly up front on the lines, are generally loaded with quite a few on your your starting 22, if you will, or your two deep, with tons of kids from our state. Because as you said, they just play a little bit harder. So you can just hear the passion there with Spikes. I thought, I think he's a good add to the SEC network, and glad he spent some time with you last week.
It was a good conversation. All right, Tommy, I was watching, and actually I want to say this real quick before we get into this Psalm thing that we're going to do coming up. Basketball practice, 4:00 on Wednesday. We're going to get a chance to see it. I know you're going to watch it on the highlights and stuff. What do you want to hear about or see come Thursday morning / Wednesday night?
First of all, I hope my schedule works out where I can go. Trying to move some things around where I can be there at 4:00 in the afternoon. But I'm excited. I mean, first of all, we're getting ready to go into football camp opening for fall. And basketball is something, A, we're paying attention to, and B, they're getting ready to make this international trip. So I think I'm as interested in and I don't know that when it's open to the public, you're going to get a full taste of it. I'm as interested in a must practice and the structure and what you see there and how he conducts it as I am the great talent that he's compiled for this roster. I don't know that in the limited time that media is going to be allowed to watch it, you're going to pick up on all this chemistry and all this.
Yeah.
I think that's hard to reference because you don't know where they began and you don't know where it's going to end. All you're going to get is a snapshot. That's the best, hey, we're thankful to get this snapshot. So I think they're going to come out and put on a little bit of a show. They want people talking as they're heading to Spain, and this is a great invite and a great opportunity to get the media talking and shows like ours talking about Musselman and his program before they head to, was it Spain and Italy? Or I know it's.
Yeah, that sounds right because it's
going
Valencia.
to two countries.
Yeah, I believe that's correct. And I told, when we saw Eric in Omaha, I was like, since I've been around, I can't remember the last time we've talked about basketball this early. We've got basketball promos running because it is such a intense conversation. I know football is always going to be on the front in the off season and as we enter the season, but we still get basketball questions several times a week on this program via text because so many people are interested in the second best recruiting class in the country, in a great home schedule with Kentucky coming to your place in addition to going to Lexington. And on top of all of that, you're going to be preseason top 10, maybe even top 5, depending on when the rankings come out.
I think we all have a pretty good feel for, Nick Smith and Barry Dunning and Joseph Pinion and this recruiting class of the 6 players that came in. I think, at least for me, and I want to gain a better sense of the transfer players that have come in and then filling in with Devo and the players that you've got returning. So I think that's, to me at least, not you may not be, the transfer portal players that we're not as familiar with because we didn't cover them in the recruiting process as much would probably be the most interesting part of watching a practice to me.
Which you've got the Mitchell twins, Jalen Graham coming over from Arizona State. Help me with the young man from Wichita State that's going to be a senior. Help me on that, Jerry.
Is it Ricky Council?
Yeah, Ricky Council. That's 4. Trevin Brazil's 5. I think they have 6, right? No, that's right. 5 transfers, 6 freshmen,
right.
2 coming back.
Right.
So that's 13, plus the 2 walk-ons in our.
We've just spent a lot more conversation on the recruits.
Yeah,
so.
and deservedly so. When you have 3 5-stars coming in, they're going to get more accolades. But you look at last year's recruiting class. You only had 1 freshman, Chance Moore, who's no longer here. He transferred to. I can't even remember where Chance transferred to, but that was the only guy you brought in. You brought in Stanley Boudet. You brought in Trey Wade. You brought in Chris Likes and some other guys. That was who the class was comprised of last year. And this one, with the 5 transfers and the 6 freshmen, it's a lot different than what the roster intake looked like at this point last year.
You get a chance to ask Muss this question. If we get to talk to him, and I'm sure there will be that opportunity. Will these practices, will this trip, and they always have some preseason practices, but now you're going to have more time for your team to be together. How much more of a jump start can you expect with the chemistry? Because there's no question Muss's teams have gotten off to a little bit slower start from a performance and chemistry and playing their best basketball standpoint, which has been fine. But do you expect to play better basketball in November and December than what we've seen under his programs? If that's the case, can you expect to see an even higher level of performance, which that's what excites me come February, March? Because while his teams have maybe come out of the gates a little slow, they finished in the home stretch great, and that's what it's all about. So a trip to Spain and Italy is, meaningless if that doesn't probably give you that jump start. But the main thing is, in the end, no one's going to remember Spain and Italy if you don't remember at least an Elite Eight run or a Final Four run.
What they do in the postseason.
Yeah, that's all that it's really going to matter.
Maybe
right?
if you have a stronger regular season, you get off to a quicker start, then you can get that 1 or 2 seed that you felt like you deserved maybe one of the last 2 years. You just got a 3 seed the last 2 years, which is still a great seed. I mean, you're not going to complain or moan about that. But in order to play in Kansas City, Missouri, which is 3.5 hours from campus, and the closest in proximity of any of the Elite Eight sides, it's Louisville, KC, I think New York, and somewhere, I think it's on Cali, somewhere in the Elite Eight sides, you need to be a 1 or 2 seed. That's just how it needs to work out. And that way you're guaranteed a massive fan base that's going to be almost a home atmosphere. Bud Walton, what is that, west or is it north? KC's what, north of Fayetteville?
Yes.
Right. Bud Walton north.
I'm amazed at your geographical reference
I know
points.
landmarks. I don't look at maps. I just know landmarks. I just drive.
We're going to get down there. We're going to go down there to Kansas City.
We're going
to go down there to Kansas
and get
City.
some barbecue. So get some good barbecue.
But I think, and I'd have to pull the media guide out. I'm going to guess it's going to be like 95 would be the last time you've hit 30 wins in a season. And in the regular season. Regular season. I'm not talking about regular season. You'd have a chance to be somewhere near that number if you get off to better November start. I mean, I don't know that undefeated going into conference play guarantees you anything, because we've seen Pelfrey teams, we saw Mike Anderson teams that had great non-conference records, and then where did it end up? Come conference play, like a 6-game skid to start conference play. So none of that really matters if you don't follow it up. And I'm very interested to see how they can come out of the gates, because I think the closer you can get to that 30 regular season wins, or maybe 30 coming out of your conference tournament, exactly what you're talking about, which is correct. You got a chance to be a 1 or a 2 seed, be close to home, maybe put yourself in a better position to get there.
Yeah,
So.
We'll have to wait and see what ends up happening, but we'll have some information and details and post about that on Wednesday night. We'll talk about it more extensively on Thursday morning. So, Tommy, I was watching this video. There's this guy that goes around different campuses, and, our age, our demographic, and I'm pointing at mine, listens to music a lot.
Mhm.
And so he just goes up to him and asks, hey, what song are you listening to? So you and Drew pull out your phones right now.
All right.
And yours is a little different because I know your kids are on your account. So we're going to play the last song that's either been downloaded or listened to, whichever one's easier to find. This is the one.
Probably tell you the last downloaded song easier. All right.
You got yours up?
Yep.
All right, go and pull up YouTube, and we're going to rate it and see what that is. Drew, do you have yours?
Yeah, I got my last added song on the iTunes.
And these can't have expletives in it, right?
No, this one doesn't.
Okay, does
This
yours
one
have
does
it?
not either.
Okay. Go and pull up YouTube, Tom, and we're going to rate your song. I'll play mine first. Let me click this real quick, Tom, and then you can grab that. This is, and I started listening to this guy 2 weeks ago. His name's Bailey Zimmerman. He's kind of a younger country artist. And y'all tell me what you think of this song. I've got it on the beat bar, too. So y'all tell me what you think of this song, and then we'll listen to y'all's and see what we rate. We've got a couple texts already on the most recent song you've downloaded, and we'll rate them this morning. Here is Rockin' a Hard Place.
Have a slow start.
We've been swinging and missing. It ain't broke yet, but damn, it needs fixing. Been a while since you kissed, felt like kissing. It's just different. We've been talking about forever since we've been together. Something about a ring makes you think we're better off with all this, but we're caught in between a rock and a hard place.
Get down with that. Get down with that.
Quick rating. 1 out of 10. Give it a point, too. Give it a decimal.
7.6.
I like it. 8.5.
Yeah, that's a good song.
Okay.
Who is that again?
It's Bailey Zimmerman.
Bailey
He's like 21
Zimmerman.
or 22.
Huh.
All right. So you've got
Right.
yours up. This is.
I've got a
what, Tommy?
story behind this. This is an older song. This is. Hang on, I got to kill your song. This is a guy named Steve Holy.
Okay.
It's a love song.
Yeah,
here.
this is a great song.
It's a ballad. And this It's called Good Morning Beautiful.
Good morning, beautiful. How was
It'd be a good song for your wedding, huh?
It's a great song.
This is a great song. The reason I downloaded this song
Yeah, it's a fantastic song.
is my wife wanted to dance to it. Fortunately, she wanted to dance to it with me. Apparently, this was our song back 20 years ago, or one of the songs we first danced to. I had forgotten that. She reminded me. So about, I don't know, it was the last song I downloaded about a month ago. We were on vacation.
This is in the 9s. I'll give this a 9.3.
Yeah, and I hadn't heard, this song's probably 25 years old. I don't know, it's an older one. So,
okay,
anyway.
I'll give that a 9.3.
It's a good song. So
Definitely. All right, Drew.
Kind of a sappy love song.
No, but it's a great song.
Yeah.
Drew, what is yours this morning? Again, this doesn't have any expletives in it.
It does not.
Okay.
I mean, it might be a little embarrassing that this is my last downloaded song, but I was preparing for karaoke for ICC Media Days. I thought this could have been a crowd pleaser, something we talked about on halftime.
What is it? So I can type it in here.
7 Things by Miley Cyrus.
Okay.
Wow.
Have you? I mean, I know this song.
7 Things I Hate About You.
You were gonna sing this song. All right, let's give this.
Song
a
me
little.
and Phil officially agreed on.
But Caroline wasn't even there. Why would you?
It's a breakup song. Why would I sing this about Caroline?
Not the ins.
Here, go ahead. Let me turn your mic up. I can't turn hers down. Sing along there, Drew. What would it have sounded like?
Let's hear it.
Let's hear it. Come on, belt it out, buddy. Well, you know. Come on, we're going to hit the chorus here. Come on, let's go, baby.
Dear, my dear, there's 7 things I hate about you. She was so hot in middle school. My gosh. This is a throwback. You're insecure, you love me, you like her. You make me laugh, you make me cry. I don't know which side to find.
I just want everybody to know that's Ty.
Yeah.
It's a great song.
It is a great song.
Didn't know
That's a hard one to karaoke to, I think, because there's a lot of words.
There is. Well, that's why I downloaded it, so I made sure I memorized all the words.
It's kind of like trying to do Garth's Ain't Going Down Till the Sun Comes Up. I mean, that's a hard one to karaoke to.
All right, we got a couple more. Let's see. This is one from Beverly. Father Abraham Intergalactic by the Beastie Boys. That's the latest one. You've heard it? Have you heard of that song?
I've obviously heard the Beastie Boys, but no.
Okay. Mafia Matt says that you need to.
My wife and daughter love the Beastie Boys.
I thought you picked a really good song. This one brings back good middle school memories.
Oh, it's great memories. I love that.
Drew Fayetteville said the last download song is "Same Boat" by Zach Brown Band.
Yeah, that's a good one there.
Is it?
Yeah.
I know a lot of Zach Brown Band, but I'm trying to think what
It's a
that
fairly
is.
new one because I added that one to my playlist.
Oh, it was
a little
less than
while
a year
ago.
ago. Wow.
Yeah, it's fairly new.
Okay.
Back in the 1920s, my daddy did. And
Just played it right off here.
That's all right.
Boy, you didn't have running water.
Yeah, we didn't get to the song.
All right.
Anyway.
Well, that was some. Listen, yours gets a
Live
9.3. Mine gets a. What did you say? 7.6 from Drew, 8.1 for me.
Yeah.
On my song. What do
They
you
were all
give?
three pretty good
I
ones.
give you an 8.5.
Okay, 8.5. What did you give 7 Things?
Well, since it's Miley, it gets about a 6.9, but I'm going to
score.
upgrade that to an 8.2 since you were going to try to karaoke.
I was
that.
gonna try.
That is a courageous song to karaoke
Thank
to.
Yes, it absolutely is.
We'll have to get Clay's coming up.
Okay.
I'm
It's
sure it would be a
latest-
George Strait song.
I
Although it may not be the last one he downloaded because he's already got all the Georgia stuff.
We ended up going to karaoke, Tommy, on Friday night, and I did Sugar We're Going Down Swinging with my guy Hampton. That's what we did, because Media Days we didn't have it, so we did it at Miss Kelly's in Nashville. Great karaoke bar. All right, we'll get Clay's song coming up, plus some thoughts on Jalen Catalon, Bumper Pool, and this upcoming basketball practice.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Day 209 on the island. There is still no rescue in sight. I long for the simple comforts of home. The leather seats, the spacious interior, the 12.3-inch touchscreen display, and of course, the panoramic moonroof. If I could only gaze through it one more time.
Jerry!
What?
Stop talking about your Highlander and help me with the raft.
Frank seems more agitated than normal lately. Could it possibly be because he too misses my Toyota Highlander?
No, Jerry, it's not because I miss your Highlander. And stop acting like I can't hear you.
Yes, that must be it. Comparing his sad raft to my sleek-looking Highlander has finally broken him.
Just stop.
Experience the unforgettable 2022 Toyota Highlander for yourself. Visit your local dealer or go to Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. See packages and options at Toyota.com for feature availability.
Wheels RV wants you to seek out all the natural state has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. All the best brands at the best prices. Enjoy peace of mind with our lifetime warranty on every new RV and a mobile service shuttle to keep you camping. So come on in and discover why Wheels was voted the best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Gray Steel Structures Incorporated is a family-owned business based in Greenwood specializing in steel structures. Owner Will Gray has 20 years experience doing the job right and making sure you're satisfied with the structure you have a need for. Gray Steel Structures serves both commercial and residential customers. Whatever your need may be, mini storage, RV storage, home workshop, or any metal building need, make Gray Steel Structures your first call. Gray Steel Structures, 252-2783. That's 252-2783.
GraySteelStructuresInc.com. That's Gray with an A.
We will make your life easier. Jody'sAuto.com will pick up your vehicle at your office or home or wherever. Take it to one of our 3 locations in Van Buren and Fort Smith. Perform any service your vehicle will ever need and deliver your vehicle back to you. Hi, Kim Bircher with Jody'sAuto.com. No missing work. No finding a sitter. No sitting in a waiting room. No wasting your precious time that you don't have. Many of our customers tell us, you're saving me money. Pickup and delivery, it's free when you spend $75 and only $10 if less. With our 3 oil change specials, you're going to find adding $10 will mean nothing. And we always have free shuttle service. You bring your vehicle to us and we will take you and pick you up in our vehicle. Honesty and customer service is always our #1 goal. We will make your life much easier. Jody'sAuto.com, JODYS Auto.com.
Have a loan with a variable or balloon interest rate and worried about your cost rising? Interest rates are rising and you may have a problem. Farm Credit can fix that. Talk to Farm Credit about locking in a long-term fixed rate for the life of your loan. Farm Credit's long-term fixed rates offer peace of mind in changing economic times. We're offering the longest terms in the ag industry. Talk to Farm Credit today. Find an office near you at myaglender.com. Equal housing lender.
Get the best value, service, and TV locally with personal service from WOW World of Wireless, your neighborhood professional Dish authorized retailer. Stop in and ask us about the Hopper 3, Dish's most advanced DVR that delivers a premium viewing experience. Tired of running out of DVR space? With the Hopper 3, you can record up to 2,000 hours of your favorite programming and watch your very own favorite channels and DVR recordings anywhere you go on your phone or tablet. Call now. WOW World of Wireless. 877-305-DISH. That's 877-305-3474 for more details. Or online at shopwownow.com. World of Wireless is located at 601 Church Street in Barling next to Frank Rowe Furniture. That's 601 Church Street in Barling. Come see us at our new location.
Monthly equipment fees and other restrictions apply. Recording hours vary. 2,000 hours based on SD programming. Remote viewing requires internet connection and compatible mobile device. Harry Robinson Buick GMC wants to buy your vehicle, and they'll pay top dollar today. Pre-owned car values are at an all-time high, and your car is worth more today than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Buick GMC, and they will pay you more for your trade. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they will still buy yours. Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, lots of sunshine. A few isolated showers or rumble of thunder are high this afternoon, right around the low 100s north, mid 100s south. A few isolated showers and storms across the north tonight. Overnight lows close to 80 degrees. And then isolated showers, a few scattered thunderstorms Wednesday. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Listen to every Razorback football game this season right here on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com. You're listening to The Morning Rush live from the Busch Light Studios on ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris Fort Smith.
Option play, Clifford. Wow. Oh, my goodness. Oh. Bumper Pool just put a bump on Sean Clifford. That was more than a bump. That was a whomp.
And his name is Bumper. That's his legal name. Look at this.
Borderline illegal.
Oh.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
People who really want to have a good time won't come to a slaughterhouse. And we've got entirely too many troublemakers here.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
I don't like you because you're dangerous. That's right. I am dangerous.
Streaming live from
hitthatline.com.
I
hit the 7-iron like John Daly hit the 3.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson.
You just gotta keep living, man.
And Tommy Kraft.
We follow orders or people die. Are we clear?
The Morning Rush starts right now.
All right, it's hour number 2 of the Morning Rush on a Toyota Tuesday. Bumper Pool, Jalen Catalon up for a couple big-time awards as KJ Jefferson is. We're going to get an opportunity on Wednesday to go see some Arkansas basketball practice, which I know that Tommy, Drew, myself, everyone else here is excited about. As you're excited about, you want to know more about this basketball team that we're several days away out from seeing their first game. They've got that trip coming up in... Is it August?
It's in August,
okay,
yes.
In August. And the football team's 39 days out from their opening game. That's why we played. One of the highlights that we've got going this morning is a 39-yard touchdown pass from Brandon Allen to Hunter Henry back in 2015 in the duel between him and Dak when Mississippi State coming down. So still a lot to get to here on a Toyota Tuesday edition of the Morning Rush.
All right, less than 40 seconds, though, from Clay Henry joining us. Brought to you by World of Wireless. Brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of Exit 72, off of I-49 in Springdale. The best brands at the best prices from Wheels RV. Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, Alliance. They are all there at Wheels RV. Plus, you get a lifetime warranty on every new RV that they sell at Wheels. 5 miles west of Exit 72, off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Clay, I asked the question to Tommy earlier, and I think it's Jalen Catalon. I want your take on this. With KJ up for the O'Brien and the Maxwell, Bumper Pool up for the Butkus, and then Jalen up for the Thorpe, I don't think that Cam Little, and you can help me on this, is up for the Groza yet. That hadn't been announced, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's on that list. I think Jalen's got the best shot of any of those guys to potentially win that award. What do you think of those at least 3 guys that we know, and maybe a potential 1 or 2 others that could get added to the list?
Yeah, I don't know how you can say in preseason, who's got the best chance. It's very difficult. I mean, I'm not much on the preseason list. I mean, all you have to do is write an email and say, hey, here's my guy, and you're on the list. It's pretty much eye candy for this time of year. I mean, it's not an honor. It's just a list. I think when, Phil Steele puts out his preseason team, that's more of an honor. These things are just lists. I mean, sometimes there's as many as 100 players on the list. And, somebody can win it without being on the list. That it doesn't have anything to do with who's going to win it. It is just a publicity stunt for these particular groups. I'm talking about, the organizations that will actually award the trophy, after the season's over. It's just publicity for them.
I know you're not a part of the Football Writers Association of America anymore, right? You stepped down?
That is correct.
Okay. When do y'all's
Well, I'm a member of the association.
Okay.
I'm not on the All-American committee. I didn't do that last year.
Has that come out yet? Has your All-American list come out, or is that set to come in August or as we get closer to football?
What do you mean?
Do they not have a preseason All-American list?
No.
Okay.
No, the committee has not met yet. It won't meet until I think the first meetings are first week of November, and then the third week of November. That's when that committee meets.
Yeah, anything you want to?
I'm just listening. I mean, I agree with Clay that a lot of these are just publicity stunts, but they get conversation coming out of media days and Big Ten media days coming up about players, about awards, and I think what Ty's driving at is of all the players you've got and the standouts and the honors, as you've kind of separated them out, Clay, Jalen Catalon is probably the one player that maybe has the best chance based on everything else in the landscape of college football to have that standout type season.
Yeah, I would predict that Ricky Stromberg would have a chance for the Remington.
That's a good one.
You know, I think that's come out. Their preseason list candidates, and it's just, it doesn't mean anything. They're not on. That doesn't mean they're going to get voted on. It just is a publicity thing for that particular organization. And it was interesting talking to Dalton Wagner. He thinks that by the middle of the season that we'll be talking about K.J. Jefferson in the Heisman. There is no Heisman list, which is the most important one. They don't have candidates. You don't have a semifinal group or anything. It's just at the end of the season, you vote for 3, and that's their list. And by the way, I've stepped away from that committee too. Not on the Heisman Trophy committee anymore.
I thought Tommy made an excellent point earlier. Since you bring up your conversation with Dalton Wagner, who's to say that Arkansas couldn't be in contention for the Joe Moore Award this year, which is given to the best offensive line in all
they
of
were
college,
last year.
Yeah, and all of college football. I mean, when you have the number 1 rushing attack in the Power 5 last year, I don't think the offense is going to take a step back, and I think K.J. Jefferson's only going to be improved. Still questioned about who's going to be the alpha at wide receiver if they do it by committee or however that goes. But, Tommy, I thought you made a good – I think there's a chance that this offensive line with 4 or 5 starters back, a great shot to be up for the Joe
I agree
Moore
with
Award.
that.
Yeah, and I like the depth that they have built at running back. And I'm not sure who the leader is, if it's going to be Dominique or if it's going to be Rocket. I mean, they've got some options. And Clay, I mean, offensive lines are going to be judged by what? Rushing yards and the limited number of sacks. So I think they got the backs to do it.
Yeah, and just the efficiency of the offense overall will be where the Joe Moore, and I think that just knowing the guys that are on that committee, Phil Steele is very heavily into that, and I think he'll look at the overall offensive line efficiency in, like you say, sacks, rushing touchdowns, and I think victories. An offense that is productive. You think, well, where is the strength of that team? Well, if it is the offensive line, then bingo, there's your guys.
Yeah.
And that you've got seniors and older players. I mean, Dalton Wagner's 24, guys. He's this is unique in that he's a 60-year guy, and a good player. He wants to go to the NFL
and big.
Yeah, he is
very big.
6'8", almost 340.
Yeah,
and is in great physical shape. There's not any body fat on him at that size.
How's his back?
He's amazing. I sit across from him doing the Hog Plus stuff, which will come out this week. By the way, we had one on Harold Horton come out this week, which I really enjoyed doing, and we probably talked for 2 hours because I kept saying, "Ready to stop? No, let's keep going." His player in watching practice that is going to be the leader of this team as far as all-star candidate is Rocket Sanders. He thinks Rocket's going to have a great year. Harold does.
Yeah, I know we're going to get to those conversations coming up. It's something we wanted to kind of pick your brain about, and I want to ask some more questions about Dalton Wagner. So we're going to get to those conversations coming up in just a bit. We're brought to you by Baxter Regional Medical Center. They've been giving compassionate care, high-quality compassionate care, since 1963 to our friends and neighbors in north central Arkansas and southern Missouri. And there's no need to travel to see a specialist any longer if you live in Baxter, Marion County, Boone County, or any of the surrounding counties in the area of Mountain Home. Neurosurgery, a comprehensive heart program, urology, women's health, orthopedic care, and pain management are a few of the specialties that they can take care of with you and your family. Hey, with 250 providers, over 1,800 employees, and over 40 locations from Harrison to Hardy, from West Plains to Mountain View, Baxter Regional is there for you wherever you are. Get more information at baxterregional.org. That's baxterregional.org.
All right, when we come back, we'll get into our Morning Rush daily question and talk about basketball practice tomorrow night.
This is Toyota Tuesday on the Morning Rush. Get by your local Toyota dealer for a test drive today. Toyota, let's go places.
Wheels RV wants you to seek out all the natural state has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. The company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Now that's a dandy white perch.
Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Our partners at BetOnline continue to be the #1 source for all your betting needs and sports info. Find all the latest odds, news, and sports developments, including this year's Wimbledon Finals, Major League Baseball, the latest fighting news, and even next season's early NFL futures. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Just use our promo code BLEAV. That's BLEAV to get the bonus and get into the action. Bet online, where the game starts.
This song was mistakenly thought to be about animal rights or shock therapy, but Shock the Monkey is really about jealousy. If we're just highly evolved primates, then why does adultery make us so irate? Natural selection would never make you hate someone who would seminate. It's because a supernatural God wired monogamy into our DNA. If you think this issue is benign, you'll be shocked to see Proverbs 6:29. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Read about it.
A pre-owned vehicle that won't break the bank? Good luck in this market.
But wait, Joe knows good deals. That's right, Joe can get you in a pre-owned car as low as $269 a month, or a truck starting at only $299 a month. Joe knows how to give you more for your trade and save your hard-earned cash. Come see Joe at the Crane Used Car Supercenter, because Joe knows. U.S. Highway 71 in Fort Smith.
PristineAuction.com is the most trusted sports memorabilia auction site. With an A+ BBB rating, auctions on PristineAuction.com start at just $1, and each day there are over 1,000 autographed items available, so you win signed authentic signatures at affordable prices. Just last week, an autographed Justin Herbert jersey sold for $110. Deals like these are happening all the time on PristineAuction.com, and they have just about every player you could want, including Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, and so much more. Every item on PristineAuction.com comes with a certificate of authenticity from the industry's most reputable authenticators. Upgrade your collection of signed memorabilia today and get $10 off your first item won when you use code HTL when you sign up. Again, PristineAuction.com, use code HTL and get $10 off your first item won. And that's not all. In addition to $10 off your first item, we are giving away a signed Traylon Burks Arkansas Razorbacks jersey to one lucky listener who signs up using this code HTL. Here's your chance to win. All you have to do is sign up on their website using our registration code HTL to be entered. Visit pristineauction.com/register today.
474-0006 for a free roof inspection. Never trust something as important as the roofing system on your home to a storm chaser. Able Roofing, 474-0006 will work with your insurance company. Call now for your free roof inspection. 474-0006. Able Roofing, the hometown roofers.
Tired of constant computer issues at work? And who knows what the real problem is? Is it the router? No, it's the hardware. Wait, they said it was the software. Call Hashtag Managed IT Services. Their multifaceted approach to IT support guarantees that everything is working at optimum performance, and Hashtag prevents the small problems from becoming big issues. Hashtag Managed IT Services in Van Buren, 479-802-4978. That's 479-802-4978. Hashtag technology without the headache.
Do you want to be a part of the team that makes the best pizza and wings in town? Well, I've got great news. Papa's Pub and Pizzeria is now accepting applications for part-time kitchen help. Apply in person Monday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, 508 Garrison Avenue in downtown Fort Smith. You'll get to make the best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world.
Order the double cheese and sausage.
Right here, dude. Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Put on a shine, put on a motor, built out of love, made for the water. Ran it for years till a transom got
Good
right.
morning to the Morning Rush, everybody.
Mallett looking, goes up top, got the coverage. Adams on the button. Touchdown, Razorbacks.
Did you miss a segment or interview during the show? Find it in the Bud Light Next Morning Rush podcast. Just search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts.
All right, back here on the Morning Rush, we're going to get into our daily question coming up in a little bit. Also want to talk about basketball practice as well that we'll get to partake in on Wednesday night. Really excited about that. So it's our Morning Rush daily question presented by Red River Dodge in Heber Spring, Arkansas's #1 Ram dealer. Log on at redriverdodge.com. Tommy and Clay, Stewart in Northwest Arkansas is an LSU fan, and he listens to us every single day. He loves us. He's a transplant from Louisiana. And so he was talking with me a little bit last night. He's like a huge Tigers fan, but he loves all our content, Morning Rush, Halftime, Ruskin and Zach, and everything at hitthatline.com. So with that being said, what is the easiest SEC fan base to get along with, in y'all's opinion? That you have the most in common with, that you've had encounters and interactions with fans, and they've gone pleasantly, as pleasant as they could. What is the fan base, and Clay, you've done this longer, so you can hit this one first. What is the fan base that you have the least amount of trifle with, that you can at least come to a accord, if you will?
Probably Mississippi State and South Carolina.
I was going to say South Carolina.
And LSU is unique in that there are some that are just terrific, and their warmth and their hospitality is unparalleled. You're just blown away by how well you're treated. And then there's some others that are just nasty and revel in that. And, you kind of, when you walk through those parking lots, you're kind of treated both ways. But at Mississippi State, as soon as you get out of your car, there's somebody offering you, a chunk of steak or some pork belly, or just, whatever. And I don't mean pork belly because it's, it's Arkansas. That's what they have every time. And they can really cook. And those barbecue pits are rolling, and you'll see a healthy selection of different kinds of beers offered to you. And then Ole Miss, you walk through the Grove, and they act like you're not there. They don't even see you, and if they do, they sure not offer you anything. So they're not. They don't qualify. Alabama, they're just entirely busy with telling each other how great they are and how much they're going to win by, and how they can't even believe that they have to play the game, that they're not just not just awarded another national championship for being Alabama.
Yeah.
You said South Carolina.
That was the name I was going to give. Arkansas and South Carolina came into the league at the same time, and they shared a lot of the same struggles, but have similar histories. I think Arkansas's had a better long-term history, obviously, than South Carolina in football, but since joining the SEC, both have had their ups and downs. Arkansas's gotten to the championship game more, but I think there's a lot of similarities and a lot of the similar struggles. Synergies would be a good word. When we see how dominant the West is now, but we forget how dominant the East was, particularly with Tennessee and Florida in the 90s, and then Georgia was in that mix some. South Carolina kind of sharing the struggles then that and they got better with Steve Spurrier, but I think there's a lot of things that are similar about Arkansas and South Carolina as far as fan bases, as far as your time in this league. Obviously, it's identical. As far as just the struggles to get to the top of your division have been similar in a lot of ways.
Now, I know Clay's been to Columbia. Have you ever been to Columbia out there?
I've been to Columbia, not for a game. I've been through Columbia on my way to Augusta, coming from the other side of it. So, but they're like Arkansas fans in a lot of ways too, Clay. That for a long time they didn't have winning seasons and a lot of success, but at least for the first half, South Carolina fans always showed up in big numbers, and Arkansas has done that a lot too.
Yeah. So, for instance, I'll give you a baseball deal that I guess this was 2 years ago. Arkansas was playing at South Carolina, and their fans in the outfield, when Robert Moore came to bat, did the oompa oompa, little chant.
Oompa oompa, yeah.
The 90% of their fans were just incensed. They thought that was classless. They were disappointed. That's from somebody that was there, an Arkansas fan that traveled. Of course, he wasn't in the outfield where the students were. And, of course, Robert Moore hit 2 home runs that day. And they were adamant that, we got what we deserved for that kind of classless action. And it just reminded me of, the bulk of Arkansas fans. Students are going to be students. And, I'm reminded of that when I'm around Ty, because he's just going to be Ty. And, it's just every once in a while you just get around a fan base that you think that they're like you. And I've got relatives there, so I've hung out. I've got a cousin that works in the Attorney General's office in Columbia. And so I've been there a few times around her home and her friends socially. And their people just seem like they're from Arkansas. They got a little bit different accent, and they like to talk about their dance to shag. I don't know what, that's a thing there.
The shag.
But it's, yeah, I heard that from Lou Holtz right after he got there. He says it's like being in Arkansas.
I think you guys are on point with Ole Miss being very difficult to get along with. That would be,
you don't want to be like Ole Miss.
No, I think that would be the one that I would say is the fan base that is least approachable. I have not been to Starkville, but I haven't had any bad interactions with Mississippi State. One of my good friends, former roommates in Atlanta, is a South Carolina graduate. He's coming to Fayetteville for the first time, and I got along with him great. Have not been to Columbia. I think probably you guys are on point, though, with either Mississippi State or South Carolina. I've had pleasant interactions with LSU fans, but I've never been to Death Valley. And I think that's just a different scene wearing red and doing that whole thing, maybe get an opportunity to do that next year. But I want to see what Auburn fans are like when we go to do that at the end of October. I'm excited for that trip. But it's difficult because there's such passion and intensity and vigor with each SEC fan base that it's very difficult to get along with the other one because you want to beat them so stinking badly.
I think there's also something to
Auburn has – I'm sorry, Tommy. Auburn has a little bit of that Mississippi State, South Carolina flavor, but they are they have this feeling that they're underappreciated and they're really good and that the world is against them. Yes. And so they've got that anti-vibes, that and they're too busy trying to figure out, are you a closet Alabama fan? And do I want to hate you? No, I'm from Arkansas. Well, you got red on, blah, blah. I don't say that to me, but they say it to other people. They're just so paranoid that you might what's you might be a redneck. You might be an Alabama fan.
Yeah.
It's like we don't like that. Yeah. Well, I'm not. Okay. All right. Well, we're past that. Well, they're too busy doing that. I guess that's a paranoia, right?
It's the thing I was getting ready to say. All those schools, and Arkansas included, for whatever reasons, has that little brother complex. And I think it's Arkansas because of Texas and all the Southwest Conference days. Auburn because of Bama, obviously.
No
Mississippi
question.
State because of Ole Miss. South Carolina's got a little bit of that, and I don't know why. Because
Clemson.
Well, but Clemson's success has only been recent. I know they were, won a national title with Danny Ford in the 80s, but there was a long stretch where, those programs were about equal, but all of them kind of share that and listen, Arkansas is right in that same boat. We've all, got that chip on your shoulder, feel inferior, and we got to prove something kind of mentality. So it's that, I just call it little brother complex.
Yeah, when you're around Kentucky football, I get it. I feel good vibes that they're okay with you hanging out with them, but they want to remind you, well, we're going to be in basketball season pretty soon, and we're going to kick your ass. That kind of deal.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be in basketball season.
Yeah, it's going to be basketball season soon. And as soon as football loses, it is basketball season there.
And they
one game's all it takes.
Mark Stoops has made basketball start a little bit later in the fans' minds.
That's right.
The last couple of years.
Right.
So.
I just thought that was an intriguing question because we do have our friend Craig and Deer, diehard Tennessee Vols fan.
Right.
The guy that is not with us now because he's feeling a little under the weather, and Bruce Stanton. He's a diehard Tennessee fan, and I've had great interactions with them. When you live in Nashville, SEC melting pot, or you're in Atlanta, SEC melting pot, you interact with a bunch of different fans, and it's easy to pick up on certain things. I haven't mentioned Tennessee. I think Tennessee and Arkansas share a lot of similarities with being
no question.
And I've had, and especially with the friends that I've made being there, I would say that Tennessee is also a fan base that I've interacted with and gone along great with, and I had fun in Knoxville when I was there. It's like, hey, where are you from? From Arkansas. Oh, well.
They weren't. I'm gonna say they were not a lot of fun in the '90s. They were not a lot of fun in the early 2000s to get along with. And one of the biggest heartbreaks of my adult life was that 6 overtime loss at Knoxville. I mean, Clay, you were there. That was hard to stomach the way that game ended.
Who was the quarterback for Tennessee then? Early 2000s.
I don't know.
Matt threw that late touchdown to Richard Smith in the fourth quarter. That
was it, 92 yards or something. It was up the right sideline going. I mean,
it's like what, 3 or 4 minutes to go.
Yeah,
and they just lost him. It was kind of like the decor.
I mean, there was some tough. But Tennessee was the class of the league for a long time in the 90s and early 2000s.
And you went toe to toe with them in a good chunk of those games on the road.
And you played them every year. You played South Carolina every year, and it was, kind of miss playing them on the regular. But at the time you got away from them, you didn't know that Tennessee football was going to kind of come unraveled. But there was a time that might as well have been playing Alabama or playing Georgia right now when Arkansas was having to play Tennessee every year.
And I want to apologize for saying that Ole Miss is the worst fan base. Texas A&M is the worst fan base. Ole Miss has the worst baseball fans. I could not be more annoyed by any of the Texas A&M fans that I've come into contact with. So they are and that's just me having a brain fart this morning. Texas A&M is easily, and I say that, there's some I met who listen to this show that are really nice, including a good friend of mine, but I cannot stand that fan base and that institution. It's the worst in all of the country. I wish College Station was not on the map at all, or even in the conference. But yeah, just wanted to run that by this morning with the interaction that I had with Stewart, who's an LSU fan that listens to our program every day up in Northwest Arkansas.
All right, all of that great question brought to you by Red River Dodge this morning in Heber Springs. Bruce Stanton normally with us this time. We'd be talking a little bit of Tennessee. He'd have loved that conversation there. He'll be back next week, feeling a little bit under the weather this week. The Booyah Pop and Pad Crasher from Bradco is the lure to go to. Jason Christie, he's the 2022 Bassmaster Classic champion. This is what he keeps around, the Pop and Pad Crasher and the Pop and Pad Crasher Junior. It's the smaller version, and it works great on the Arkansas River. Frog fishing's a favorite thing for many of us to do this time of the year, particularly in the summer. And the Pop and Pad Crasher Junior is the right size and the right hook setup to help you catch them. Find it at lurenet.com and tackle stores everywhere. It is the Booyah Pop and Pad Crasher Junior.
Clay, I know that Tommy and I have made jokes about sitting in on a Eric Musselman practice this season. We're going to get a chance to tomorrow night at 4. I say tomorrow night, tomorrow afternoon at 4 o'clock. And we haven't talked basketball this much, at least since I've been around, which has only been about 4 years. I mean, when's the last time that you have spent this much time in a summer and eventually fall with a really good football team, or at least what we think is a really good football team, and talked this much basketball? Is there
probably 94, 95?
Yeah.
I think back to the back-to-back Final Four trips, the national championship and the national runner-up. Those teams we talked about all year round. I mean, we celebrated with all those guys throughout that summer. The summer of '94. And how could you not? So I would say all the way to then. And I think anytime that they've had summer foreign travels, there would be some practices then that we would get interested in it, because that's what's going on right now, right? They're about to launch a travel, right? But that's right, and I'm very glad that you realized that 4 o'clock wasn't nighttime. I worry about you a little bit.
Well, someone your age, it's a little confusing sometimes, Clay. That
that
is about dinner
for
time.
No, Clay, I'm going to be honest, man. I think I go to bed earlier than you. I mean, I got to be up at 4 a.m. each day. So
that's why I said that.
There's a good
chance.
It's
confusing for you because you're early to rise, early to retire, except on weekends.
I'm trying to harness and feel as much Clay Henry as possible. And
you're doing good.
Early.
I'm not. This is
Blue
not
special,
critical.
Early bird
special.
special.
See, you've got a paranoia. When I speak, you duck. You think it's about to be launched, right?
I do. Yes, I'm just waiting
like
to
get.
Yeah, here it comes. Clay's back. When Clay says, "Wait a minute, let's back up," I was going to talk about how you kind of have an old soul that's very uncharacteristic for your age, that you go to bed early and you get up and you prepare and you're ready to go. So I really hate that I just did that, but it's it's a backhanded compliment.
Yeah, a bitter tasting compliment coming from Clay Henry. All right, so if you're in the practice facility, the Eddie Sutton practice court today or tomorrow, what do you want to see, and what's the most interesting part of the practice to you that may not just be watching a Nick Smith or picking out a player, see what Devo looks like? What's kind of one of the things with synergy or chemistry or something like that you're wanting to see, Clay?
I think that's it, just right there. What kind of chemistry there is when you have all these new guys, and I think that's what will be talked about by the players and the coaches. That whether they have it or not, they will say they do. Mm-hmm. And the only thing that reveals that is adversity. That they've had no adversity yet. I mean, it's all kumbaya. They're having cookouts and they're going to Topgolf, and I don't
Eric
know
Musselman's their only adversity at this point.
Correct.
Because he creates the difficulty of the practice.
Yeah, in the coaching staff, they're going to be correcting things or whatever, but you can kind of watch and you might pick out, say, who's leading? Is it Devo? That's not his role wasn't that in the past, but maybe it is now.
Yeah.
And who among these older new players, the transfers, they can step out and be leaders. They might have been leaders somewhere else. I think that early last year that was a problem to identify. Okay, whose team is this? We knew it after a while. It was JD and Jalen, right? But just who's kind of taking charge, and who has a voice out there that carries and that you hear. It may not be any of them. That might be something to note, but that's what I want to see. And then just the overall talent. Who can do their stuff? Who's got a left hand to go to it with a right hand? That you take away the right hand, which is what happens in college, and who can still create and get their shot.
Yeah. I want to see if Nick Smith looks like a freshman or if he looks like a veteran player.
Which do you think he's going to look like?
Well, I mean, this time of the year, it's in August, probably more like the freshman at this point. But
I don't think so.
But
I think he's going to I think with all the stuff that he's done, in the summer already, the national team, I think he's going to look like a stud.
You're probably right. I think he's going to be the best player on the team when it's all said and done. And the better he is, the better this team's going to be. So if I'm going in to watch one player and I'm going to zero in on one guy, it's Nick Smith, because I think this team will go as far as he will take them in February and March. Now, I don't know that will be on display in an August practice, and I think this trip to Spain and Italy is so key to maybe jump-starting the chemistry you were just talking about, Clay. We know that Eric Musselman's teams have not come out of the gate at a fast pace in November and December. I was talking earlier before you joined us that getting to somewhere near 30 regular season wins and giving the committee something to evaluate to maybe put you in a 1 or 2 seed type situation, taking care of business in November is important to that, and being ready at the beginning of conference play. Eric Musselman's teams have played great at the end of the year. They have not always played their best basketball, and nor do we want them to play their best in November, but I think they've got to have an elevated launching pad this year, and I'm hoping this international trip will elevate the launching pad in November.
Because if you want to get that 1 or 2 seed like we talked about, you just got to start a little bit quicker. And they
got to win more.
Yeah, nothing wrong with finishing strong, but I think a lot of Arkansas fans would love to see them play in Kansas City in that Sweet 16 Elite Eight. Here's mine, and I just looked this up. Arkansas under Muss has never finished within the top 170 in three-point shooting. Can this team shoot?
They defend it well.
They defend it.
Can you bury it?
And can you knock down threes? And I think that the floor spacing at times, and it's hard to say at times because they've gone back-to-back Elite Eight appearances, and Eric would tell you that. Their shooting has been a struggle since he's gotten there. Because, again, the stat shows you've not finished within the top 170. There's, 353 teams in all of college basketball. Haven't finished in that. Can this team shoot? Can Joseph Pinion get on the floor? Devo improved his three-point shooting last year. What does Nick shoot like? What does Anthony shoot like? What does Jordan shoot like? What do these guys as freshmen, and then also the transfers the transfers that came in weren't great shooters percentage-wise to begin with, good defenders and good overall basketball players, but it gets crowded at times, and floor spacing is key. I want to see if this team is going to be able to space the floor a little bit, because I know they're going to be able to defend, and I know they're going to be able to get to the rack. But can you shoot and knock down threes when teams are crunching the lane and crowding the lane and making you beat them from behind the three-point arc? That's where I'm going to be looking at.
That's a good one.
I would think that what you see in that regard right now probably won't give you a clue, as to, how that's going to be. That what they're doing right now is I'll be surprised if tonight's or this afternoon's practice isn't all about defense. Right now they're trying to learn defensive rotations, defensive rules, how you're going to play the pick and roll. Those are the things that they're establishing in great depth and, very fine technical terms. That those are the things you see in coaching points, and that the smoothness of an offense were to reveal three-point shooting, unless it's just a drill where they're shooting against air. And I don't think that tells you anything at all.
What was it not last year, but the year before, they were number one in the SEC in scoring. I think Moses this year, they had the number one team scoring, and that's with just a decently okay three-point shooting prowess. So if they can get that going too, watch out.
But to Clay's point, I think we all know this, and it's pretty obvious with Eric Musselman. Who's going to play? The best defenders.
Yeah,
so
and that's what they're going to work on. Yeah. And the reason why you lead, anytime you lead an offense, there's an exception, Loyola Marymount, and there's some teams that all they did is they didn't even play defense. You got yours, but they're going to get a few more is what they were trying to do. But they score so much out of their defense, in transition, and that's what they're trying to get set right now, and that's why they'll win if they win.
Yeah, going to be fun to watch, and we'll be talking about it here on the Morning Rush after that open look at the practice coming up tomorrow with Eric Musselman's team before they head overseas. Hey, we're brought to you by Gaston's White River Resort. 870-431-5202 is their number. If you're like Clay and you love to fly fish, maybe you want to learn more or take your fly fishing skills to the next level, Gaston's has recently put several more fly fishing guides on their roster. So if fly fishing is something you know little about, you'd like to learn more, if maybe you're an expert at it and you want to get with a guy that really knows the White River well and can teach you some things, they've got the guides at Gaston's now with several fly fishing guides that can elevate your fly fishing game. So call them at 870-431-5202 and ask about fly fishing at Gaston's White River Resort. Gaston's, a first-class time every time.
This is Toyota Tuesday on the Morning Rush. Get by your local Toyota dealer for a test drive today. Toyota, let's go places.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
At Clay Maxey Auto Group, making the relationship has been what we've always been about. Can't control the market, but we can control who we are and how we act every day. And we're just going to be really good at being us. It's always been more than just selling cars or servicing them. It's a people business. We're here to take care of the customer. To me, it's important that it's about the relationship, not the transaction. Come visit us today at Clay Maxey Auto Group.
The summer savings are coming in hot at Lowe's. Cool down and save with a Harbor Breeze Beach Creek indoor ceiling fan. Was $129.98, now $89.98. Or get up to an additional $500 off now on select major appliances, plus free delivery over $299. Find it all this summer at Lowe's. Home to any budget, home to any possibility. Appliances in-store must ask cashier to apply discount at time of purchase. Online must enter applicable promo code at checkout. Savings vary based on purchase amount. While supplies last. About 7/21 through 7/27.
Picture another world, another dimension, one of space, one of time, one where chicken on made-from-scratch biscuits only costs $1. This place exists, and it's called the Hardee's app. So when you buy one hand-breaded chicken biscuit, you get another for just $1. Cluckbait. It's time to fall for some cluckbait. Bite into the hand-breaded chicken menu only at Hardee's. Feed your happy. Available for limited time during regular breakfast hours at participating restaurants. Exclusively in the Hardee's app or website by registered My Rewards members. Tax not included. See app or website for additional terms and conditions.
Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer opens like every other seltzer. Pours like every other seltzer. But it's not like every other seltzer. USDA certified organic, no added sugar, and low cal. So you've never seen another seltzer quite like it. And with new refreshing flavors like black cherry and watermelon strawberry, you've never tasted one like it either. Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, as real as it tastes. Enjoy responsibly, not a low-calorie food. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, IRC Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging. Would printing from your phone or tablet make your life easier? Are you emailing files to yourself so that you can print them from your desktop or laptop? The Xerox VersaLink and AltaLink lines of network printers and multifunction printers will natively print using your phone's built-in capabilities. Apple AirPrint and Google Cloud Printing just work. To order yours today, give us a call at 783-6600 or visit dixiedigital.com. Dixie Digital Imaging, bringing document innovations to the River Valley.
Are you a qualified CDL driver with local or over-the-road experience? Tired of driving older equipment? Not having enough home time? Feel like a number? You need Patriot Transport. Patriot Transport, based in Centerville, with locations in Russellville and Van Buren, provides you with late model equipment, has a family atmosphere, and provides you the opportunity to make $95,000 per year. Patriot Transport works with you to get the miles you want and the family time you need. Change your life today. Visit PatriotTransport.com to apply. That's PatriotTransport.com.
Hey, this is Chad Warner, product manager for Booyah Bait Company in Fort Smith, Arkansas. The hottest swim jig on the Arkansas River right now is the Booyah Mobster. It was designed by the Muddy Water Mob, a bunch of river rats from Arkansas and Oklahoma, and it's winning tournaments on Dardanelle and Kerr like clockwork. If you're fishing submerged vegetation, water willow, lily pads, you need a Booyah Mobster to reel them in. Available at lurenet.com and tackle stores throughout Arkansas and Oklahoma, the Booyah Mobster.
Have your travel plans changed? Looking for a place that's close to home and keep your family safe? Gaston's White River Resort is located on the beautiful White River. They offer private accommodations in their lodges and cabins. Most cabins have a fully equipped kitchen, or let their restaurant staff deliver to your cabin. Call 870-431-5202 and change your plans to Gaston's White River Resort. Gaston's White River Resort, a first-class time every time.
Woo, it's hotter than car lot asphalt. That can mean only one thing. It's time for the Rath Auto Resources Summer Sales Drive. Every summer, we set our goals to sell more cars than the year before and break every sales record. That means huge savings for you on a great selection of Rath Road-ready premium pre-owned vehicles, each one hand-picked and reconditioned in our Meineke Car Care Center. Don't let the lot fool you. When they're moving this fast, most of the inventory never makes it to the lot or the internet. No worries. Just call, click, or come by and let one of our friendly non-commissioned solution specialists help you find the perfect vehicle and work it all out so the price and payment fits your budget. It couldn't be simpler, and the summer sales drive makes it the perfect time to save. If you're keeping the car you have, let us take care of it for you in our Meineke Car Care Center with free AC checks, half-off brakes, and buy 3 get 1 free on all tires. Better yet, start driving better today and save big during the summer sales drive. Only at Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online at rathauto.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Arkansas football. It's the players running through the A. Hog hats. It's more than 70,000 fans calling Woo Pig Suey. Oh,
yes, sir.
Guys, I've got just one thing I want to say to you. Touchdown, Arkansas!
Arkansas wins the national championship! The Arkansas Razorbacks have completed the dream season!
This is your Hog Update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Mr. Sparky. Need a licensed electrician to service your home? For one of their local pros, call 888-8-SPARKY.
So you got 2 guys yesterday added to more watch lists. Bumper Pool is named to the Butkus Award watch list, given the best linebacker in all of college football. Jalen Catalon was named to the Jim Thorpe Award watch list as well. And I had forgotten about Ricky Stromberg being named to the Remington. I think if I had to guess, Cam Little's going to be named to the watch list for the Lou Groza. Might have 1 or 2 others. Arkansas offensive line is probably going to be up for the Joe Moore Award as well, as we were talking about a little earlier this morning. We were talking about practice earlier. We're going to get a chance to watch practice tomorrow at 4 o'clock in the Eddie Sutton men's basketball practice gym. We're going to have video for you and some audio as well on hitthatline.com and our YouTube channel as well, plus our social media pages, so make sure you stay tuned for that. Some more basketball news. Arkansas, and actually I say Arkansas, they haven't announced this yet. Scotty Bordelon of Whole Hog Sports got this intel thanks to a Freedom of Information Act request that you're going to be playing San Jose State. Thank God it's not football. Right, Tommy? December 3rd inside of Bud Walton Arena.
That I get it's starting to take shape a little bit with the non-conference schedule. You know, a few things like Oklahoma on there, and I guess it won't be long. You'll have a full schedule. We've got a little more detail on the SEC schedule, so tickets are sold. I mean, you know, at this point, I guess you're trying to fill in the cracks because all your tickets are pretty well sold out at this point.
Clay, when does the basketball schedule come out? About kind of what approximate time period?
I think in the next month.
Yeah,
I mean, I think
August.
I think most of it's already out. I mean, they gave you the conference games, right?
Mm-hmm, right.
Correct.
And I think that Matt and Scotty have FOI'd enough of the stuff that we can put together what's the schedule. There's just 1 or 2 games that probably we don't know about. And we may know who they're playing. We just don't know the dates, right?
Yeah, because you don't – correct me if I'm wrong. They haven't released the actual days the SEC schedule has come out. So
no, but you're right. But it's I would believe it's any time. I mean, they're selling season tickets. You'd kind of like to know the schedule, right?
And I don't know how many season tickets are left to sell. I mean, it was pretty full. I mean, it would be in the hundreds, not the thousands, if even that many, Clay.
Yeah, I think it's probably a foregone conclusion that it'll be sold out, and when you play conference games, it'll be packed. It won't be packed in the non-conference. That's the way it is, and it will frustrate Eric Musselman that there'll be people that don't use their tickets, but it's just the way it is.
Yeah, particularly in November when football's still the focus. Yeah. December, kind of transition period, holidays, but
the holidays
for the better opponents, it will be full. For Saturday conference games, full, and I think for the bigger, like we saw with Auburn last year, the bigger weeknight games,
tough tickets
to get when you're playing a ranked team. So I mean, there's none better than Bud Walton when you're playing a great opponent and you got a really good basketball team.
They play, and I don't know if this game, again, we don't have the time yet, I don't believe, but they'll play Oklahoma on Saturday, December the 10th. And that game was at what, 2 o'clock last year? Is that right? 1 o'clock?
That's in Tulsa, right?
Yeah,
correct.
BOK Center.
Neutral site at Tulsa. You've also got them playing is it Maui this year, Maui next year? It's Bahamas this year, right? Or I switch it?
I think it's Maui.
Maui this year. Then you go to Atlantis.
So that's Thanksgiving.
Yeah. So you've got that. So again, you've got a great schedule this year, including Kentucky at home, which only has happened one other time in the history of the SEC where you played Kentucky on the road at home in the same season. That was in 2014, which I thought was kind of intriguing. Clay, you texted me this last night. I saw it on Twitter. I just didn't add it to the rundown that Cody Kennedy got engaged in, was it New Orleans? Is that right?
It was, yeah. The picture that he put on showed a little Mardi Gras band in the background. I would have liked to have, with a big tuba player, I would love to have had sound put to that where we had a little music to go with it. I'm sure that was a festive atmosphere. And congratulations to Coach Kennedy. And just I think I'm going to get to sit down with him this week as part of my Hogs Plus, and I love to talk to offensive line coaches. Talked to Dalton Wagner last week, and we just released the Harold Horton stuff. So my Hogs Plus career is rolling now.
Yeah. So tell me more about Dalton Wagner, and then we'll wrap up our Hog update. But obviously, a grown man, 24 years old, and coming back for his 6th year.
He's not the oldest. Can y'all guess who's the oldest?
Dorian Gerald?
Correct. Dorian is 25.
Yeah. He's been there like 9 years.
Now, he hasn't been at Arkansas.
Wasn't joke. Houston Nutt recruited him.
Yes. Yeah, he was a junior college player, so his time didn't spent. But it's interesting that Dalton was a Brett Bielema recruit, and his hometown is just a hop, skip, and a throw from Prophetstown, which is where Brett's from, and Brett came there and recruited him. The major feature in Spring Grove, Illinois, which is just right on the border between Illinois and Wisconsin, northwest of Chicago, is a corn maze. It is supposed to be the world's biggest corn maze. And I promised him that I would not go through the corn maze, we talked a lot about his wrestling. We do not have a name for him yet, a wrestling name. Is he Mr. Wrestling? Is he, what's he going to be? And I asked him if he's going to be a good guy or a bad guy, and he thinks maybe a bad guy.
A heel.
Yeah, so he'll be one of the villains. And also talked about his hair, that his dad played football and wore long hair, and that's just kind of part of his family tree, that, you have long hair. Now, he had it up in, what would you call it, a man bun or whatever, when we did the interview, and you wouldn't know that it would go down, his back a good ways. Yeah.
Normally we would make fun
really
of a man
fired
bun,
up about
we won't with
their
him.
offense.
You want to make fun of a 6'8" guy?
No.
Me neither.
So we'll leave the man bun alone when it comes to Dalton Wagner. So.
Yep.
So.
But I had forgotten that during the Chad Morris time, he got down to 275. He's right at 340 right now, and does not look fat. There's nothing fat on that man. He's pretty neat, and we talked a lot about offensive line play. He listens to like Metallica, AC/DC, Pearl Jam, and Ricky listens to rap. And just before they go out, they trade, would you say headsets or headphones? And each listens to something of the other to make themselves mad.
That's kind of funny.
Anyway. All right, that's your Hog Update. It's brought to you by Mr. Sparky.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888 Sparky.
All right, still a lot to get to in hour number 3 with us talking about practice. The Arkansas football is upcoming fall camp. We've got practice we're going to see for basketball. We're going to talk about some of the things you loved and hated about junior high and high school practice back in the day. I'm sure every single one of you can talk about a certain coach, a certain drill, a certain whatever that comes to mind when it comes to practice. And we'll do that coming up in just a bit, Tommy.
Yeah, all of that coming up here on the Morning Rush. And we'll get into some more of Clay's conversations with Dalton Wagner and some of those conversations that might be intriguing as we head into a season. And what, Clay, we were trying to figure this out. Practice ought to be starting August 4th or somewhere right in there, that Thursday or Friday.
We're right there.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty soon.
Close to it. 39 days out from Razorback football against Cincinnati. SEC Nation coming to town. Excited about that and excited for hour number 3 of a Toyota Tuesday edition of the Morning Rush.
When you need a plumber, call the name you know and trust. Ashley Air. The same great people that take care of your heating and cooling system can also meet your plumbing needs. Right now, take $50 off any plumbing repair or get a $129 drain cleaning plus a 2-year parts and labor warranty. Restrictions apply. If you have clogged drains, Ashley Air is the one to call. Go to ashley.air.com to schedule your plumbing service. That's ashley.air.com. Proud sponsors of Razorback Athletics.
Day 209 on the island. There is still no rescue in sight. I long for the simple comforts of home. The leather seats, the spacious interior, the 12.3-inch touchscreen display, and of course, the panoramic moonroof. If I could only gaze through it one more time.
Jerry!
What?
Stop talking about your Highlander and help me with the raft!
Frank seems more agitated than normal lately. Could it possibly be because he, too, misses my Toyota Highlander?
No, Jerry, it's not because I miss your Highlander. And stop acting like I can't hear you.
Yes, that must be it. Comparing his sad raft to my sleek-looking Highlander has finally broken him.
Just stop.
Experience the unforgettable 2022 Toyota Highlander for yourself. Visit your local dealer or go to toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. See packages and options at toyota.com for feature availability.
Save big on fiberglass in-ground pools at the Burton Pools & Spa's Inventory Reduction Sale. Get the pool your family has been begging for and save up to $7,000. Plus, get a free salt generator or 2 ledge loungers. 6 models to choose from while supplies last. At Burton Pools & Spas in Springdale and in Fort Smith. Call, come by, or visit burtonpools.com. Burton Pools & Spas, where you can get your feet wet without getting in over your head.
Doe's Eat Place, serving award-winning steaks, has now added lobster tail and salmon to the menu. You can also enjoy delicious appetizers along with your choice of drinks from the largest selection of wines, beer, and liquor in the River Valley. Doe's Eat Place is open Tuesday through Thursday 5 till 9 and Friday and Saturday 5 till 10. Reservations are recommended. Call 784-9111. That's 784-9111. Doe's Eat Place, 422 North 3rd Street, Fort Smith.
Are you looking for a career that is in demand and will provide you and your family the living you all deserve? Are you willing to put in the time to learn that profession? If the answer is yes, you need to contact United Welding Institute today. Welders are in demand in-state and across the country for many different types of welding. United Welding Institute has recently placed students from the River Valley with very high-paying employers, and they want to do the same for you. Call today and make an appointment for your future. 479-968-3390. That's 479-968-3390 for United Welding Institute in Pottsville, and tell them you heard it on ESPN Arkansas.
Riley Farm Dental at the entrance to Riley Farms provides every type of dental care and procedures for you and your family. From general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics, Dr. Bo Sparkman and Dr. Brogan give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confidence, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
The Golf Nut would like to welcome the newest member, Matt Brooks, to the Golf Nut team. Matt is a former college golfer with over 10 years of experience in the golf industry. Matt is available for lessons, so call the shop today to set in an appointment. The Golf Nut has a large selection of shoes in stock with brands like FootJoy, Adidas, Echo, Skechers, and Under Armour. As always, check Facebook for daily specials. The Golf Nut, your #1 golf shop since 1994.
Summer is here. Art's Barbecue and Burgers has everything you need for your next picnic, trip to the lake, and outdoor fun this summer. Smoked ham and turkey are perfect for sandwiches at your picnic. Take Art's brisket, ribs, and pulled pork to your next lake trip. And every Saturday at Art's, every thick and juicy burger is $1 off. Art's Barbecue and Burgers, the best barbecue and burgers in town. Rogers Avenue next to Buddy's in Fort Smith, or call ahead at 452-2550 at Art's Barbecue and Burgers.
Was your roof damaged by recent storms? Don't fall victim to out-of-town contractors and fly-by-night repairmen. Trust the local roofing professionals at Able Roofing. Call their local number, 474-0006, for a free roof inspection. Never trust something as important as the roofing system on your home to a storm chaser. Able Roofing, 474-0006, will work with your insurance company. Call now for your free roof inspection, 474-0006. Able Roofing, the hometown roofers.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC wants to buy your vehicle, and they'll pay top dollar today. Pre-owned car values are at an all-time high, and your car is worth more today than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Buick GMC, and they will pay you more for your trade. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they will still buy yours. Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, lots of sunshine, a few isolated showers or rumble of thunder are high this afternoon, right around the low 100s north, mid 100s south. A few isolated showers and storms across the north tonight, overnight lows close to 80 degrees, and then isolated showers, a few scattered thunderstorms Wednesday. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
All your favorite podcasts in one place. The Hit That Line Podcast Network. Just search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Brought to you by Breeden RV Center. You're listening to The Morning Rush live from the Busch Light Studios on ESPN 95.3 KERX Paris Fort Smith. This hour of The Morning Rush is brought to you by Bud Light, brewed with the best barley, rice, water, and hops to be America's favorite light beer. Bud Light. Please drink responsibly.
Option play, Clifford. Wow. Oh, my goodness. Oh. Bumper Pool just put a bump on Sean Clifford. That was more than a bump. That was a whomp.
And his name is Bumper. That's his legal name. Look at this.
Borderline illegal.
Oh.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
People who really want to have a good time won't come to a slaughterhouse. We've got entirely too many troublemakers here.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
I don't like you because you're dangerous. That's right. I am dangerous.
Streaming live from
hitthatline.com.
I
hit the 7-iron like John Davis with 3.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson.
You just got to keep living, man.
And Tommy Kraft.
We follow orders or people die. Are we clear?
The Morning Rush starts right now.
Yes, sir.
All right, it's hour number 3 of the Morning Rush on a Toyota Tuesday. Basketball practice, get a chance to view that tomorrow night. Football practice coming up shortly. And I know all of you, whether you played football, basketball, baseball, softball, track and field, you think about the practices you had to endure in the hot sun and the heat, getting yelled at, spit at by your coaches, whatever it may be. We'll talk about some of the fun parts and the bad parts of those practices you experienced in junior high, high school, and for some lucky of you, college coming up in just a sec.
Hey, we're brought to you by The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building a fence or a gate for you or a custom wrought iron installation. They can do that as well. The whole process with The Fence Man is quick, it's easy, and most importantly, it's affordable when you call The Fence Man. They have 18 months, same as cash financing available. So if you need a new fence, gate, or anything that involves a fence, there's only one call to make, and that's to The Fence Man. 479-782-3936. That's 782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
All right, so I think about the good and the bad. There's always pros and cons in anything. And when you think about the term practice, I always think about this.
Not a game. Not the game that I go out there and die for and play every game like it's my last. Not the game. We're talking about practice, man.
And that's Allen Iverson, who that rant has been played over and over and over again. Some of you were great practice players and you weren't good in the games. Some of you were terrible, didn't give any effort in practice because the games are what mattered. So when you think about your practices early on in life, y'all, you think about the feeling after practice, how exhausted or how proud you were that you managed to get through it. Maybe some of the team camps that were kind of part of practice, just kicking on the field with your teammates. What do you guys, the cold water? That was something I enjoyed. It was like a hot day, 2-a-days, and running over to not the spritzer, but whatever it's called, the sprayer, and
we had to
cold
bring our
water.
own water.
It was awesome. So what do you guys remember, good and bad, about practices?
I remember, and Clay can relate to this, we didn't have it as bad, at least as bad as the stories my dad told about his practices. My dad played for the legendary Bill Stansel, and they talked about how bad practice was, how hard practice was, and that the games were easy because practices were so hard. I think we evolved, at least when I played in the 80s and early 90s, that, at least it was a little more, and I only played through my 9th grade year and then got into radio, but those practices, listening to my dad, and I think every generation's like that, but Clay, you can probably shed a little more light on that because you and my dad were about the same age, that those coaches back then that had come through the 40s and the 50s and were coaches in the 60s and 70s. It was brutal back then.
So I played junior high football at Pulaski Heights, mid to late 60s, 3 years. My coach was Woody Jolly, who later was coach at I think he coached high school and maybe a little college. And that was back in the day when they gave you salt tablets and no water. And that's just unfathomable, right? You probably never knew that.
Put you in jail today, yeah.
Yeah,
Good gosh.
Now you also have to remember we didn't have air conditioners anywhere. There weren't air conditioners in the schools. We did not have air conditioner in our house. We had a ceiling fan. You didn't go upstairs till way after 10 o'clock because it was just you just lay in bed and sweat.
You didn't have a ceiling fan. You had an attic fan.
Yeah, we had an attic fan.
Yeah. When was the last time you saw those in a new home?
The windows are wide open, and you can hear every sound out. Every car that goes by. I mean, it's just a different era.
These guys are looking at you like, is this guy from
How
another
did you
world?
survive? Goodness gracious!
Yeah.
You didn't know any better.
Yeah, no, that's what nobody had air conditioning.
My dad's talked about he didn't have central heat and air in their house till his junior year of high school.
Our weight room did not have it. It was a trailer, and I remember that was just this. We'd leave the windows open, but when it's 90 and sometimes 100 degrees outside, that doesn't do any good.
I'm 46. I don't remember a day from kindergarten on we didn't have air conditioning in the school, but that's the way it was back then. So.
No, but we didn't have it, and they'd started school a little later, and we might go earlier in September and let out, before the heat of the day hit. We might be done from school at 2 o'clock, but we went a lot earlier. Wasn't uncommon for me to walk home from school, both in junior high and high school. And I'm not talking about, 2 blocks. So you guys never, I walked uphill both ways, right?
In the snow.
Now, you've told me this before. Your house was close to War Memorial, Pulaski Heights.
So Pulaski Heights is on the north side of Markham.
Yeah.
Our house was on the south side of Markham, so it was probably about 3 or 4 miles.
Yeah. I'm just trying to picture.
I'm not saying that's an easy walk. And it's through the shade. There's every street had huge trees, so it's not like you walked in the sun. But sometimes I walked home after football practice. No big deal.
Can't you just picture Orville saying to Clay and his brothers, builds character, son.
When you get through walking home, mow the yard.
None of that was discussed. You just did it. Yeah. I mean, it wasn't you. I knew my brothers walked home, so why not me? I mean, that's the way it was. But I got to tell you, the best drills, in playing high school basketball at Little Rock Central, I was on the team, and we ran line drills, and they were miserable. But that's the point. I mean, I wasn't the greatest basketball player, but I could be in shape, and I was really fast. So those were the drills that I wanted to make the older guys look bad, and I just ran them into the ground. They're going to play regardless. But that was my time to shine, and I got scolded by teammates for beating them by, half of the floor length in line drills. Some of those big guys, it was pretty hard for them. But, I mean, I was little and weighed about 120, so I can run all day. Now, I remember talking to a lot of the older Razorback football players about the late 50s and 60s when Wilson Matthews is running the conditioning drills and the drills at the start of practice. And what they did at the start of practice, you cannot do anymore. They had what they called the fit drill, and it didn't have anything to do whether you were, fitness or anything. You lined up and you did stretching, calisthenics, and then he blew the whistle, and for 1 minute you had a fit against the man next to you. You could do anything you wanted. You could kick him somewhere that's unmentionable. You could hit him in the head. Of course, that wasn't smart. They're wearing a helmet. You could punch him. You could throw him down. Anything you want. It was a fit. And when you lined up for calisthenics, you looked to see who was beside you. You did not want to be standing beside, Wayne Harris or Lloyd Phillips. So, and it was a way to find out who's the toughest. And it, didn't last but a minute, but for 1 minute, say if I'm next to Ty would have been punished, pummeled. He would have been down. I would have been knees on his chest, and I would have been poking his eyes out. I mean, anything went.
Two feisty Little Rock guys going, "You're a scrawny 120, Clay. I would have laid waste to you back in the day if we were in the same high school."
But that's not what I would have been when I would jump on you. I was bigger than that as a senior.
Yeah.
Okay. Some of the others that we've got listed, like being Clarksville, hated being on the Skins team when it was shirt for Skins. Now, as an equal rights opportunist, I advocated, as some of my teammates did, that the females that practice on the other side of the court should also do that.
Follow those rules.
At Little Rock Christian Academy, the administration was not in favor of that whatsoever. But we just kept asking our coach, like, "Hey, coach, why can't they do shirts for skin?" He'd get mad and make us run suicides or stuff like that. But I think about suicides on the basketball court, gassers on the football field when you just run across the way. We did bleachers. You guys did bleachers, right?
Oh,
just run up and down. The 2-a-days you were talking about. What about a coach just chewing you out? Kraft, get your ass over here, and just grabbing. Well, I'm trying.
They used to grab you by the face, man. I think that's kind of out of style now.
They
did that when I was in high school.
Yeah, they did that.
You would know whether or not they had beech nut or skull in, usually, by the time it got over.
I don't think it was as prevalent as it was probably when you were playing, but I mean.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, like the beech nut or skull, RDC at our high school, he was a grizzly wintergreen, man, and you could definitely tell, and got some on your face a few times.
I don't remember if I think Little Rock Christian was a tobacco-free campus. I don't think all the coaches.
So was my high school.
All of them are.
That doesn't mean it didn't exist.
I was going to say, I don't think
they have been, and they are today.
I don't think some of the coaches abided by that. I don't remember.
You think?
I don't remember ever getting spit in my face, but I definitely remember getting spit on and from a lot of saliva directly on it. And you just I try not to laugh because I'll be like, "Coach, you're spitting everywhere." Then I would just have to either run more, I'd get yelled at more. But that was definitely something because he'd just be Richardson, Kraft, Henry, Barrett, get over here. They'd grab you over, whether it's football, basketball, and baseball, and just rip you a new one. And you just have to sit there and take it. Just take it like a wounded dog. And you couldn't do anything about it except for taking it. And
I got a good tobacco juice story. Really, there's two. So I'm playing baseball at Lamar Porter Field when I was 15, and I think David Rose showed up with the bag of Red Man, and so we all were going. I'm the catcher, and you got to make sure you spit and don't swallow. Well, about the third inning, there was a fly ball behind me, and I turned, with the mask, and I got a whole big, juicy taste of that, went right down the throat. And, I mean, it took about an inning, and I'm over in the corner of the dugout just puking my guts
were green,
out.
weren't you?
Oh, yeah. So that's the last time I ever tried that. But in college, our golf coach was Cliff Horton, who was the athletic director. He'd drive these UCA station wagons. Remember station wagons? I don't think they really exist anymore.
Watch Lampoon's Vacation, National Lampoon's Vacation. You'll see
These
a
were
green one.
massive station wagons. And, we could have him and 5 golfers and then all of our golf bags in the way back. And he chewed. And depending on what score you had shot in the previous match and what your ranking was on the team, you got to pick the seat. Well, obviously you wanted to be front seat. You want to ride shotguns, what we call that. Does anybody say we're riding shotguns anymore?
Mm-hmm.
And
My
if
kids
you
do all the
were
time.
low man on the team, then you sat in the back seat right behind him. He had the window down in the front seat. He did have air conditioner in that station wagon, but he would spit out the window, and about a third of it blew right back into the back seat right behind him. So that guy. We had UCA white T-shirts or golf shirts, polos. He had a polka dot golf shirt.
Yeah.
That guy did. And the one in the middle would have a little bit on his left shoulder, a little bit of polka dot. You did not want to be in the back seat because he'd just cover you. Now, one other story. He would leave us at the match, and we played at Arkadelphia against Harding, Ouachita, and then Benton against a lot of schools. That was kind of 5 schools would come to Benton because it was central part of the state. He would leave us on the range, go to Oaklawn, play the ponies, and be back about the time that we finish up near dark to take us home. And if we got to eat on the way home, it didn't have anything to do whether we played well or not. It was how he did it with the ponies.
So he was gambling your meal money, huh?
Yeah, he definitely gambled our meal money.
Man, golly, some of these stories what's the situation where if you have a bad child at home, protective services or whatever, I don't know if they are also get involved with sports. Maybe that's more the AAA than anything, but the AAA would have a field day with some of the stuff that y'all shared. And we've had a ton of
this would be NAIA.
Yes.
NAIA stands for no rules.
Yeah. Well, this is why we're soft today. This is why everybody claims there's no toughness. This is what made you tough back in the days, walking uphill both ways in the snow.
I'm not complaining about any of this. I'm just telling you that's the way it was.
Here I'm seeing some text about 100-yard bear crawls. We did.
Oh, those are terrible.
Now, bear crawl.
100-yard anything was in full pads was terrible.
Death crawls was someone on your back, or it's usually the offensive or defensive lineman that's having to hold a wide receiver running back. That's a death crawl. The bear crawl is just when you're solo dolo by yourself. By the time you get done, you just fall because I think the longest we ever did was 50. I don't think we ever did 100 like in facing the Giants, but man, those were not fun. And like you said, in pads is even worse.
Yeah, I mean, in making it 100-yard, that was tough on the linemen. If you had team drills and winner gets to quit, man, if you were a lineman, you might as well just lay down in the first 20 yards. You're going to get beat anyway.
Did y'all split up the skill positions and then the linemen? Because it's kind of unfair to ask, hey, offensive lineman at 240, you got to beat this scrawny wide receiver at $130 in a gasser. We would split up times to make it fair for at least those guys so they could compete against each other. Because you're asking a guy that's just not going to happen.
Lineman run with lineman usually.
Yeah.
So, I played through 9th grade, and I don't have as many war stories as probably some of you guys, but that was back when you had two-a-days, and I guess you had two-a-days a while longer after that. But gosh, two-a-days have been gone for 10 years now, 15. It's been a while since.
Hey, we had 3 of those in junior high. We never left.
We never had that.
I think we did them.
We had them through my junior year, I know for sure, but I didn't play football my senior year to concentrate more on baseball.
I think we had them when I was in junior high, and I'm like you, didn't play past that point, but I want to say they were still going on then. And the high school, if I remember correctly, was doing
late
as well.
2000 somewhere in there. They because of the heat. Now they got that wet bulb or whatever, and the heat and humidity get to a certain point, they just shut practice down.
See,
and the coach has nothing to do. It's like the trainer's in charge of it.
Now, What about?
That's when we would do our running.
Yeah,
intentionally.
I mean, we didn't start the second practice.
What do you call it, a wet bulb?
Yeah, that's what the coaches say it is, and the trainer, like the team trainer, has all the power to shut it down in most cases. So
yeah, the only way we shut down practice is if the coach fell out.
Yeah.
Coach. Did y'all have, if someone screwed up, didn't show up to practice, was late, didn't complete a strength and conditioning drill, would the coach look at you guys and say, all right, this person so-and-so wasn't able to complete or show up or whatever, you lose as a team, you fail as a team. One equals, was that the cliche in the phrase that you would often, because that's what was used with us, that if someone didn't show up to practice or there were various things that one or two guys couldn't do, well, we are teams. We got to do it over. We got to do this now. That was something that was used over and over in high school for us.
I just remember there'd be a list, and they would usually give the list before practice, and you could be added to the list for during the practice to stick around, but they would announce during stretch drills who needed to stay after practice for what they called a help session. We're going to have help session.
Help session.
So you'd stay in the help sessions.
We're going to help you remember.
Exactly. We're going to help you remember. So they would have help sessions after practice, and they usually consisted of some of them bear crawl drills you were talking about and some up downs and things of that nature that would help you remember, like Clay said.
Yeah, we had a hill. I'm sorry, it was hell. Yeah. We had a hill at the end of practice field at Pulaski Heights. There's now a gym there, but we had to run that hill. Oh, that was brutal. And you did a big lap around, down the hill, around the side on the sidewalk, and then straight back up that hill. And it was not as long as Cleveland Hill, but it was just as much straight up. And of course, the football cleats would tear it up, so you couldn't get any traction, so you basically went up it, with your hands and knees like a bear crawl, and it was, your hands would got cut up, but I mean, you didn't stop. There was no stopping, and if you threw up somewhere else, and I can remember Coach Jolly yelling, "Do not throw up on my hill." I mean, it was Marine type stuff.
You mentioned Cleveland Hill. My only experience that was rough on Cleveland Hill, because I wasn't going to volunteer myself and do what the basketball players have to do, what seems like every offseason. So I was driving up my scooter, and I don't remember what happened, but it stopped or something was malfunctioning, and so I had to walk it up the hill. And I thought the back of my legs were going to rip open because of how much my ankles and stuff hurt. That was just walking, trying to /jog and push the scooter up the hill. I can't even imagine, we've had to run uphill on certain things before. That's just so much harder on your – is it Achilles? Is that what it basically is back there?
Your hamstrings,
yeah,
your
hamstrings,
Achilles. All tied together.
I just remember how
top
tight
to bottom.
it was. And we would walk around campus
your
all
calves,
day.
yeah.
So
I got a good one. This came from Robert Dew, who played in Arkansas in the late 60s, 70s. He played in a freshman game at Tulsa and scored a touchdown on a punt return. He threw the ball in the stands. And thought that was pretty cool. And so gets home. Wilson Matthews is at the bus, and he gets off, and he says, "Hey, you throw the ball in the stands?" I said, "Yes, sir, won't do it again." He goes, "No, you won't. See me at 5 a.m. inside the stadium."
No, you won't.
And there was a barrel of footballs at the 50-yard line right next to the east stands, 50-yard line. Another barrel at the top row. And Wilson says, "These my footballs need to be in that barrel up there."
Carry them all
Got them all up. And he started carrying them. No, one at a time.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, man.
Once they got him up there, he says, "Now my footballs are in the wrong barrel. Need them back down here." So after he finished that, he said, "Coach, I think you understand. I'll never throw a football in the stands again."
Hey, real quick before we go, Ty, great play if you're going to that basketball practice, if you're in Northwest Arkansas or Russellville, CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers, the place to have a great meal.
Yeah, coming back to Donald W. Reynolds Razorback Stadium this fall. Also the two great locations on Weddington Avenue in Fayetteville and on Arkansas Avenue in Russellville. When all you do are burgers, they have to be the best, and they are at CJ's.
This is Toyota Tuesday on the Morning Rush. Get by your local Toyota dealer for a test drive today. Toyota, let's go places.
The company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates is looking for quality people to join the Fenceman team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fenceman offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fenceman. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fenceman is an equal opportunity employer.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Our partners at BetOnline continue to be the #1 source for all your betting needs and sports info. Find all the latest odds, news, and sports developments, including this year's Wimbledon Finals, Major League Baseball, the latest fighting news, and even next season's early NFL futures. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Just use our promo code BLEAV. That's BLEAV to get the bonus and get into the action. Bet online, where the game starts.
This song was mistakenly thought to be about animal rights or shock therapy, but Shock the Monkey is really about jealousy. If we're just highly evolved primates, then why does adultery make us so irate? Natural selection would never make you hate someone who would seminate. It's because a supernatural God wired monogamy into our DNA. If you think this issue is benign, you'll be shocked to see Proverbs 6:29. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Read about it.
A pre-owned vehicle that won't break the bank? Good luck in this market.
But wait, Joe knows good deals. That's right, Joe can get you in a pre-owned car as low as $269 a month, or a truck starting at only $299 a month. Joe knows how to give you more for your trade and save your hard-earned cash. Come see Joe at the Crane Used Car Supercenter, because Joe knows. U.S. Highway 71 in Fort Smith.
PristineAuction.com is the most trusted sports memorabilia auction site. With an A+ BBB rating, auctions on PristineAuction.com start at just $1, and each day there are over 1,000 autographed items available, so you win signed authentic signatures at affordable prices. Just last week, an autographed Justin Herbert jersey sold for $110. Deals like these are happening all the time on PristineAuction.com, and they have just about every player you could want, including Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, and so much more. Every item on PristineAuction.com comes with a certificate of authenticity from the industry's most reputable authenticators. Upgrade your collection of signed memorabilia today and get $10 off your first item one when you use code HTL when you sign up. Again, PristineAuction.com, use code HTL and get $10 off your first item one. And that's not all. In addition to $10 off your first item, we are giving away a signed Traylon Burks Arkansas Razorbacks jersey to one lucky listener who signs up using this code HTL. Here's your chance to win. All you have to do is sign up on their website using our registration code HTL to be entered. Visit PristineAuction.com/register today.
8668.
Tired of spending all your hard-earned cash at the gas pump right now? Wheeler Power Sports is here to help you out. They have a giant selection of motorcycles and scooters to help maximize fuel efficiency. There are over 50 scooters in stock right now, with some getting up to 100 miles per gallon. Wheeler also has a great selection of motorcycles from the Kawasaki, Suzuki, and Kimco. Check out their full inventory at WheelerPowersports.com or check out their showroom in person at 901 North 11th Street near downtown Fort Smith. Wheeler Power Sports, keeping the good times rolling.
You have a job, kids, and a million things to do in no time, and now your car needs to be serviced or fixed or tires? Jody'sAuto.com will make your life easier. Free shuttle service. Pickup delivery service free when you spend $75 and only $10 if less. Jody'sAuto.com will make your life easier and take better care of your vehicle at the same time. Hi, Kim Bircher. See, the thing is, Jody'sAuto.com does everything. Everyday oil change specials. Tires are price matched, including the warehouse clubs and all the best brands. Any services, brakes, alignments, all the way to engines, and any maintenance. You are trusting your vehicle to a local company in business for 37 years. Voted best of the best time and time again. Honesty and customer service is always our number one goal. We will make your life much easier. JodysAuto.com. JODYS Auto.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson and Tommy Kraft.
He's going for it all. He's got a receiver in the end zone. It is caught by Arkansas. London Crawford comes down with the ball.
Streaming live at hitthatline.com.
So Clay got a chance to catch up with Dalton Wagner, and we're going to get into that conversation in just a bit. Also, your SEC update on the way. Tommy, I'll give Drew credit. Drew printed this off, the SEC schedule we have in your room, and I printed off that one you got right in front of you there. They don't have the little ones anymore that we were talking. Drew
That's
said
a shame, too.
He went around at SEC
ones?
Media Days, but this one's a little bigger. So have that in front of us
This
now.
is the grid, for those that can't see it on the online stream, the grid that has every game, every SEC game every week, so it's easy to find. So, and you can see who's playing your opponent before or after you, and anything interesting going on that week in SEC football. It's a must-have for anyone that loves SEC football. Hey, if you're building a home, whether you're remodeling or whether you're building it from ground up, whether you're the homeowner or the contractor, changes in plans, subcontractors not showing up, non-payment, all of these are issues that can cause homeowners or contractors to be at odds. This could result in a lawsuit. If you're a homeowner or a contractor and you find yourself needing legal help, call the attorneys at the Kevin Hickey Law Partners. They have the experience to represent you and do it aggressively. They understand breach of contract, negligence, non-payment, and the other issues that can lead to all of these problems and frustrations. Call Kevin at 479-434-2414 or in Northwest Arkansas, 802-6560. More details about Brad and Kevin are online at kevinhickeylaw.com.
So, Clay, let's touch on that conversation with Dalton Wagner, all 6'8", 340. Is that what you said earlier?
Like 337, 338. Yeah, he's a little over 335. I think he wants to play at 335. And you carry a little bit of weight into August practices so that you can hold, whatever your target is. You're going to lose 5 or 6 pounds probably pretty quickly. But yeah, it's he was talking about the offensive line and really the transformation that Luke Jones has made at left tackle, which I think is a significant part of that, moving forward. And then Takeo Crawford, how he's progressed in the summer and will really push for playing time at multiple spots, probably on that right side, be able to play some to spell Dalton Wagner. Just the depth that they have in the offensive line. And we reminded each other that there was a time during the Chad Morris era that they had 7 or 8 at practice, 7 or 8 offensive linemen total, and that they had to take rest breaks, that you couldn't, practice straight through a period because you couldn't keep, an offensive line, those 7 out there for an hour. Whereas normally you've got 3 teams, three units. He said they may have 4 now. They've got 19 offensive linemen, counting a couple of walk-ons. And it's, a huge development, in that part of the team. But he also, expressed real positive vibes about the defensive line and how far they've come and the depth that they have. And he thinks Dorian Gerald is healthy, and I think that's a significant, asset as you move through, a guy that has been injured and missed, really the last, 3 seasons. Just hasn't been a factor since he came here as a highly recruited junior college player.
Yeah, and with someone his size, he just the maturity. I think about this when you got a 24 and Dorian Gerald, 25-year-old grown men, and you're also playing alongside Lockreed in the same room with 19 and 20-year-old. There's a huge gap or difference in where you're at in life, maturity, and I just think about their ability to lead, their confidence to be a voice, All these guys have been great athletes from where they've come from, but then you get into this melting pot here, and this is where older players can really, make the difference or give a team an edge, I think.
Yeah, and we talked about that and his leadership, and he says what you really have to do is just keep your eyes open in practice, in the weight room, when you're going through off season, and then that's the time when people just they may not quit in the fact that they go home, but maybe halfway through a drill they just shut it down. Like, that's all I got today. And says, you get with that guy and explain to him that I'm just as miserable as you are, and I'm pushing through it, and you can too. I've been here. I'm there right now. But you will get through it if you just keep pushing, and then all at once, that guy becomes someone that you can trust that's going to finish the drill, and he's going to finish the play for you too. And, when he sees a young guy that's maybe struggling with the playbook, it's like, I was there too. I had to learn. I had to spend extra time, in the evenings with the playbook and to get this right. And, make sure you include younger players in things that you do away from football that really build that chemistry. And he says, you may not want to be around an 18-year-old. They can be a little, like Ty, a little immature. But you've got to do that, and that's part of it, and that's part of his job. Is a 24-year-old, probably going to be a captain. Not sure. There's a lot of other good candidates to be captain too.
Is it 4 or 5?
It's usually 4 captains.
Yeah,
4 captains usually.
Usually 2 offense, 2 defense.
Yeah,
so.
And
your quarterback, KJ is going to be one of them. So
yeah, he's really high on KJ.
Yeah.
He thinks KJ is going to. Going to be in the discussion for the Heisman because he said he's going to do that well.
Yeah.
He said our offense is going to do that well. And he's really impressed with all the running backs. He likes, Rashad Dubinion. Yeah.
Yeah, so a lot of good. I think we can come back to some more of this in our SEC update. The heat of the day makes you want to eat a little bit lighter for lunch or maybe for dinner, especially if you work outside. A great salad from Art's Barbecue is a great option for lunch and dinner, and their salads are so large you might even take some of it to go with you. The thing I love about the chef salad at Art's, all the ham and the turkey and everything, they smoke it there in-house, so it's got that smoked flavor that makes their salads probably second to none. Also, the cheeseburger salad, the grilled chicken salad. They've got a lot of great options for these hot days. Check out the great salads, Art's Barbecue, Rogers Avenue, next to Buddy's in Fort Smith. The SEC Update is next.
This is Toyota Tuesday on the Morning Rush. Get by your local Toyota dealer for a test drive today. Toyota, let's go places.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer. Wheels RV wants you to seek out all the natural state has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas on a new RV from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. All the best brands at the best prices. Enjoy peace of mind with our lifetime warranty on every new RV and a mobile service shuttle to keep you camping. So come on in and discover why Wheels was voted the best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
At Clay Maxey Auto Group, making the relationship has been what we've always been about. Can't control the market, but we can control who we are and how we act every day. And we're just going to be really good at being us. It's always been more than just selling the cars or servicing them. It's a people business. We're here to take care of the customer. To me, it's important that it's about the relationship, not the transaction. Come visit us today at Clay Maxey Auto Group.
Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer opens like every other seltzer, pours like every other seltzer, but it's not like every other seltzer. USDA certified organic, no added sugar, and low cal, so you've never seen another seltzer quite like it. And with new refreshing flavors like black cherry and watermelon strawberry, You've never tasted one like it either. Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, as real as it tastes. Enjoy responsibly. Not a low-calorie food. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, IRC Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Tired of constant computer issues at work? And who knows what the real problem is? Is it the router? No, it's the hardware. Wait, they said it was the software. Call Hashtag Managed IT Services. Their multifaceted approach to IT support guarantees that everything is working at optimum performance. And Hashtag prevents the small problems from becoming big issues. Hashtag Managed IT Services in Van Buren. 479-802-4978. That's 479-802-4978. Hashtag technology without the headache.
Whew, it's hotter than car lot asphalt. That can mean only one thing. It's time for the Rath Auto Resources Summer Sales Drive. Every summer, we set our goals to sell more cars than the year before and break every sales record. That means huge savings for you on a great selection of Rath Road-ready premium pre-owned vehicles, each one hand-picked and reconditioned in our Meineke Car Care Center. Don't let the lot fool you. When they're moving this fast, most of the inventory never makes it to the lot or the internet. No worries. Just call, click, or come by and let one of our friendly non-commissioned solution specialists help you find the perfect vehicle and work it all out so the price and payment fits your budget. It couldn't be simpler, and the summer sales drive makes it the perfect time to save. If you're keeping the car you have, let us take care of it for you in our Meineke Car Care Center with free AC checks, half-off brakes, and buy 3 get 1 free on all tires. Better yet, start driving better today and save big during the summer sales drive. Only at Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online at rathauto.com.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing, and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
Doe's Eat Place, serving award-winning steaks, has now added lobster tail and salmon to the menu. You can also enjoy delicious appetizers along with your choice of drinks from the largest selection of wines, beer, and liquor in the River Valley. Doe's Eat Place is open Tuesday through Thursday 5 till 9 and Friday and Saturday 5 till 10. Reservations are recommended. Call 784-9111. That's 784-9111. Doe's Eat Place, 422 North 3rd Street, Fort Smith.
Was your roof damaged by recent storms? Don't fall victim to out-of-town contractors and fly-by-night repairmen. Trust the local roofing professionals at Able Roofing. Call their local number, 474-0006, for a free roof inspection. Never trust something as important as the roofing system on your home to a storm chaser. Able Roofing, 474-0006, will work with your insurance company. Call now for your free roof inspection, 474-0006. Able Roofing, the hometown roofers.
Carco Auto Sales takes great pride in serving Fort Smith, the River Valley, and eastern Oklahoma for over 40 years, offering a variety of quality, late model, low mileage vehicles at unbeatable values. The friendly and knowledgeable staff can help you find the car you deserve, priced to fit your budget. Carco Auto Sales will purchase your vehicle as well. Come see the team at 2810 Midland Boulevard or give them a call at 783-1722. Check them out online at buyfromcarco.com. Carco Auto Sales, when you're ready.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Somebody said we've got SEC bias. Deal with it. They're the best.
In the SEC, it just means more.
I know one thing. The SEC just got a little tougher.
This is your SEC update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Ashley Air. Keeping your home comfortable is what they do best. Trust them with your heating and cooling needs. Go to AshleyAir.com to request service today.
All right, time to get into your SEC update on the Morning Rush. I saw this kind of surprising headline and pretty big deal that former Alabama wide receiver John Mechie, who was drafted by the Houston Texans, has been diagnosed with leukemia, guys. And
I was hearing this story. I mean, sad deal, but from what I remember hearing and reading on this, it's the most treatable kind and the most likely kind of leukemia that you can come back from. So, I mean, you hear that word, particularly when it's, if a kid's involved and your heart just stops, because there was a time when you heard that word when I was a kid, and that was more or less a death sentence. But they've improved the treatments, and Clay, this is the most treatable version from what I've read from the reports.
Well, it's still,
still heartbreaking.
It might be treatable, but, the real question is will he ever play again? And that's doubtful. And you just think about, he was at the pinnacle of his career, and his next few years will be completely different than what his dream was. My heart goes out to him.
Mm-hmm. Bummer news, and I know that Nick Saban is probably heartbroken for his former player that was a huge part of that national championship run. Tore his ACL in the SEC championship game? No, because they beat Georgia.
I believe you're right.
Is that right? Mm-hmm. They still beat Georgia in that game, but they needed him. And when Jamison Williams went out in the either national championship or Cincinnati game, that was just kind of the nail in the coffin for Alabama at that point. Speaking of Nick Saban, I saw this book, and I actually met this guy at SEC Media Days, writes for AL.com by the name of John Talty, that in his new book, Saban, after the kick sits, which occurred in 2013, he was pushing one of his guys to reach out to ESPN and thinking about starting the new chapter of his career after that loss to Auburn. I think this is pretty.
A loss like that will make you reevaluate things in life. The way that ended. So, and so many things there at the end with challenging the clock, and then the coverage of that kick and such an unusual play. But I guess even the greats like Nick Saban, Clay, have those moments where it just seems like throwing in the towel may be easier.
Yeah, that might have been. Miss Terry might have said, "Hey, that's enough, big guy. It's time to
don't feel sorry for yourself.
Spend some time on the lake." Yeah. I don't know when he's going to go, but I figure it'll be some health related deal. He may be more frustrated with the NIL than we think. I don't know. It's but that will change the landscape of college football more than anything else that happens. When he decides that's going to be like a big old door swinging open for everybody in the SEC.
I would hope so. I would hope that we would see more
No,
parity.
it will.
And
yeah.
Do you think how much do you think Kirby Smart will be able to step in, Tommy, and really
seize the throne,
seize the day,
take the crown? Financially, he's poised, and I think it's also interesting to get the kind of contract that Kirby was awarded last week. That is nearly $12 million. And guess what? If he goes and wins another national championship this year, that contract will be torn up, and they'll give him another one worth $14 or $15 million a year. So, I'll be interested to see how he responds because, Clay, that's the real mark to me is, okay, you get that kind of money, you arrive, then how do you perform? Because some guys take their foot off the gas. That will be interesting to see with Kirby over the next couple of years.
What I hear from talking to Sam is that he is a relentless recruiter, which will serve him well. What happens in these falls? Almost always, it's the way they rebuild their coaching staffs, and can they do it? And Nick's been able to be the dynamic force on the staff that makes sure that everything is done just his way. But often, a coach is going to turn things over to his offensive coordinator for offense, his defensive coordinator. And if you make a bad hire there, especially offensively, where, all at once, you've got an anemic offense that can't score, or you're not attracting the right kind of quarterback, that things just fall. And they fall like a rock. So that's the thing to watch is when he rebuilds his staff once again. As he loses 2 or 3, and he's going to lose coaches just like Nick Saban did. And can he handle that? It was Brett Bielema's downfall. He brought a great staff here, and lost 3 or 4 of them, in the first year, and the replacements were substandard. We didn't know it at the time, but it turns out they were.
Couple other things to get to here in your SEC update. Arkansas comes in at number 1 on CBS Sports' list of the best athletic departments in the country. When it comes to SEC teams, they're 5 overall, but we've talked about them being at the top of the Capital One standings, not the FedEx Cup, as I said last week incorrectly, but that was an important.
It'd be quite a feat to play the golf that well and lead college football.
Well, Clay texted me. It's like, hey, you said FedEx Cup, and I was like, yeah.
Well, I would have never said that on there because what I realized at the time is Tommy had you doing the morning, the afternoon, the midday show down from Atlanta, and you weren't getting any sleep. And I mean, I think you guys were probably playing hard too, right?
No, that doesn't sound like us, Clay.
Yeah, I mean that's the one time when you play hard is there's all those media guys, and so y'all going to go out to eat. I don't mean you're going to midnight, but you're going to have a nice dinner.
Way past then.
Yeah, and have a couple of peach margaritas, and then you can. I mean, and then you do that day after day after day, and pretty soon you're playing during the week like you played on the weekend.
I see you that picture of that beautiful looking peach margarita. When was that, by the way? I don't remember.
Look very good,
it
actually.
Was
didn't look like peaches at all.
I think it was Saturday.
Yeah, it was
like a regular margarita.
It was Saturday. We got a
from
picture.
Nashville, right?
Yes, we got a picture of them, and it was delightful.
Must have been ladies' night. Had them on special.
Unbelievably, it was 3 guys at the table, the manliest men you've ever met, and
none of no one else was drinking a peach margarita.
No ladies there to drink the ladies' drinks.
Well, we met some ladies out later that night, but
they were having bourbon.
It was a delightful night. All right, last thing here in your SEC update: Jalen, Catalan, and Bumper Pool. They are up for some awards, as is Ricky Stromberg and KJ Jefferson. Bump's up for the Butkus Award, and then Jalen Catalan's up for the the Thorpe. Is it Thorpe Award and Butkus Trophy? I get confused when they say trophy and award. I just wish they would keep them all the same.
It's the Jim Thorpe Award.
I got a trivia question. Who owned the Arkansas team wears Dick Butkus's number and does it for a reason?
51. That would be. Hold on, I know who it is.
Stromberg, isn't it?
Yeah,
it is Ricky Stromberg. His dad has taught him as a young age to be a Chicago Bears fan. He's from that part of the country. His dad is, and was a Butkus fan, and suggested when he didn't have a pick for a number, he said, ought to wear number 51. That was Butkus.
Mm-hmm. Bears are
so it is worn in honor of Dick Butkus.
I think Ricky's dad's going to be disappointed in the Bears this season because Justin Fields has no one he's going to be able to throw the balls to this year.
Probably will be.
Haven't talked much NFL. You care about the NFL starting up? I guess it's a week after college football, or is it 2 weeks?
I care in that
1 week,
kind of pay attention to who's playing. Like Frank Ragnow, how's he doing? I care about that kind of stuff, but I don't care about what's Tampa Bay's team going to be like, or whether the Cowboys going. I care about how former Razorbacks are doing, and I pull for them. That's about it.
Well, you get a chance to actually watch this year because you're not having to publish the magazine on Sundays because you've told me how long that day is after games on Saturday.
Yeah, it sounds like a great day to fish.
Or do that. That works too.
That's exactly right, because about that time of the year is some of the best weather of the year to be outside.
And it's also the best time to play golf. I've never been able to play golf in the fall, and that is, it's just the golf course is usually in their best shape, the best condition, and I'm going to find out what kind of condition Big Creek is in October.
There you go. Hey, if you need a plumber, that's your SEC report brought to you by Ashley Air. If you need a plumber, call the name you know and trust. That's Ashley Air. The same great people that take care of your heating and cooling system can meet all your plumbing needs as well. Right now, $50 off any plumbing repair, or get a drain clean for just $129, and you get a 2-year parts and labor warranty. Some restrictions apply. If you've got clogged drains or leaky faucets, Ashley Air is the one to call. Go to ashley.air.com to schedule your plumbing service today. That's ashley.air.com, proud sponsors of Razorback Athletics.
Apparently it's Aunt and Uncle's Day, so without thinking, first thing that comes to mind about one of your aunt and uncles, go.
Uncle Rich, how funny he is.
Clay?
Yeah, my Uncle Frank Tarver, who I called Uncle Shank when I was really little, which everybody thought was funny, so I just kept calling him that. He was a golfer, so to be Uncle Shank was a moniker that probably shouldn't have been given him. Then my Uncle Bill ran Riverdale Golf Course when I grew up there, and had every kind of job there is. He taught me hard work, and every once in a while would correct my golf grip. So this is the only grip. So Uncle Bill and Uncle Frank, I loved you. And Uncle Travis took me to Washington, D.C. He was a lobbyist, and I spent a week with him doing everything you can do in Washington, D.C. That was fun. that, none of the bad stuff. We didn't march on the Capitol.
I would say mine is Uncle Rob. He's an incredible chef, also incredibly intelligent when it comes to stocks and business stuff. And then Uncle Keith, who has had a lot of success with his own, not landscaping company, but contracting company. So just the business prowess of both of them, I would say, is pretty phenomenal. And I didn't get a lick of it passed on to me.
I was just thinking through the roster, so to speak. I don't have any aunts other than by marriage because my dad had 2 brothers, and my mom was the only girl amongst 4 brothers herself. So I have some wonderful aunts, but they're all by marriage.
I guess mine are too. Aunt Liva and Aunt Steph. They're both incredibly instrumental in the early days of my life. So yeah, I guess technically mine is by marriage as well.
So
not actual blood by sisters.
Yeah.
You got something you want to say over there?
Oh, you just brought up aunts and uncles. I mean, if I got to throw one out, my Aunt Phyllis, greatest cook on the face of the planet and the nicest lady.
You
She's
have to have
probably my
one
favorite.
grandma or aunt or mom that is an incredible cook, right? That's just a part of living in the South. Sometimes it's all 3.
I think it's all. I mean, I haven't met a grandma or an aunt that wasn't a great cook.
Or a dad that's good on the grill, or an uncle
Yeah.
or a grandpa that's good at smoking or doing something. I feel like that's just part of
Well, I
living
missed
in the
those
South.
meals with my grandparents, though. Both sides. They were
Good.
awesome. So
They're good. Well, Clay, good stuff today, man. I guess, when do you think they'll announce the practice schedule for late next week? You think that'll come out this week, or you think we'll get it on
They
Sunday?
know it.
Okay.
They've had it figured out for weeks. But yeah, we'll get an inkling in the next 4 or 5 days.
Okay, great. Well, for Clay Henry, Drew Barrett, and Tommy Kraft, I'm Ty Richardson. Everyone have a fantastic Toyota Tuesday. What's your beef tomorrow?
Save big on fiberglass in-ground pools at the Burton Pools & Spa's Inventory Reduction Sale. Get the